Greetings. I hope all is well. I hope your afternoon is going well. Guys, do me a favor as you come to the chat room, please like, share, and subscribe. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, also share, also subscribe. Tours, we are still rolling to Nigeria August 8th through the 17th. Again, August 8th through the 17th, we are still rolling to Nigeria. Would love for you guys to join us. If you're interested, please visit Danfo, DANFO Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, DANFO Africa. Also, Sierra Leone, we are rolling to Sierra Leone November 20th through December 3rd. November 20th through December 3rd. We are rolling to Sierra Leone. Would love for you guys to attend. If you're interested, please visit Danfo, DANFO Africa. Again, Danfo, DANFO Africa. Citizenship. Again, citizenship. This right here. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. So please visit Danfo, DANFO Africa. Also, the gear. I know people are always asking Dynast, where are you getting your shirts from? Where are you getting your gear from? Visit Ileamir, ILEAMIR. Again, ILEAMIR.com. Again, ILEAMIR, Ileamir.com, to get your gear. I'm waiting on my results. Should be back by September. Hopefully, they come back eligible for citizenship, and I'll go in November. Guys, let me say this: you don't have to be eligible for citizenship to still travel. If you're interested in traveling with us, you do not have to be eligible for citizenship to travel. Come enjoy Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a beautiful country. Come and join. We will love to have you all. Again, come and join. We will love to have you all. Without further ado, guys, I want to play a video real quick. And the question today, the topic today, I'm always hearing ADOS, FBA talking about how they fought in every war, from the American Revolution, Civil War, World War One, to Korean War, which my father fought in, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. They're always talking about how they fought in every single war that makes them rooted in America. That's why they're rooted in America. That's why they're as American as apple pie, because they have fought in every single war. So, I'm not sure, but I want to put out there, if America has another civil war, and I'm going to play some clips real quick. If America has another civil war, which side is ADOS FBA going to fight on? Since the claim to fame, they brag on how they fought in every single war, how the bones are buried here in America. Which side are they going to fight on in the next civil war that might happen? It might not happen. Thank you, Captain America. There we go. Which side? That's the question. I would like to know. Here we go, fam. This ADOS FBA generation ain't fighting for nobody. No, but that's the argument. The argument is they are as American as apple pie because they fought in every single war. And it was more delusional, not even delusional. What's crazy is after every war that they fought in, they were still treated like third and fourth and fifth class citizens. After World War II, you had the Tuskegee Airmen, right? It was documented, written accounts that Nazi POWs were treated better than the ADOS FBA that fought in World War II once they returned. Again, Nazi POWs were treated better. Again, were treated better than the ADOS FBA who fought in World War II. But this is what they like to brag about. Again, this is what they like to brag about. So then my question is, Civil War. I mean, I want to play the scene from Glory with Denzel Washington when he was getting whipped and you had the lone tear coming down his face and he was getting whipped. The ADOS FBA who fought in the American Revolution. Guess what? After the American Revolution, they had to take their asses back to the plantation. So I don't know how this is a win. I don't know how it's a win to claim and brag for fighting for a country who doesn't defend you. I don't know how it's a win to claim and brag fighting for a country that after you fought in a war, they put your ass back on a plantation. The American Revolutionary War. I don't know how it's a win to brag about fighting in the Civil War, but then after the Civil War, you had Reconstruction. Abraham Lincoln was like, listen, we will free y'all. We really don't want to free y'all, but you won't be considered as equal as a white man. You will not have equal rights and access to America like white people. But that's what you guys want to brag about. I don't know how it's, and then during that time, you had Rosewood, you had Tulsa, Oklahoma, you had Wilmington, North Carolina, but still brag about how you fought in every war. So I'm trying to figure out how it's a win, bragging about how you defended the country that didn't defend you. That's right. Red Summer. I think that was after World War One. Getting hung in uniforms. How is this a win? So my question today, if the United States goes back, if the United States experiences another civil war, which side, again, which side are you guys? And I want you guys to fight. Listen, I want all you ADOS FBA who say that people who relocate and move to Africa or do whatever and say we run, I want you guys to put on a uniform, pick a side, and I want you out there on the front lines. You better not run. I want you out there on the front lines because there might be another civil war during our lifetime. I mean, you got to think about the climate right now. You have people who can't identify what a woman is. I mean, think about it. Like, you guys might think this is funny, but there are people that take this stuff serious. You have people that if you ask them, what is a woman, they don't want to define it, but then want to say that we're protecting women's reproductive rights. I mean, think about it. This is not going to end good. Some of this goofy stuff that's getting pushed, a lot of people aren't going to tolerate it. You had the protest January 6th, but then you just had the protest this past weekend after Roe versus Wade was overturned. So again, ADOS, FBA, which side are you going to fight on? And you better not run. You better pick up a musket or whatever, and you better fight. That's all I'm saying. You better fight. Guys, I want to play this video real quick. This is Auntie Maxine Waters, your guys' favorite auntie. You know, for some reason, she has no solution for the homeless issue in LA. But boy, she gonna rise up for Roe versus Wade. Hold on, this is your guys' auntie. Hold on one second.
You see this turnout here? You ain't seen nothing yet. Women are going to control their bodies no matter how they try and stop us. The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them. Women will be in control of their bodies, And if they think black women are intimidated or afraid, they got another thought coming. Black women will be out in droves. We will be out by the thousands. We will be out by the millions. We're going to make sure we fight for the right to control our own bodies. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello, young girls. We're fighting for you. I don't know what's happening and where they are, but we're going to take every effort and try everything we can to overcome what they have done to us. You see this turnout here? You ain't seen nothing yet. Women are going to control their bodies no matter how they try and stop us. The hell with the Supreme Court. We will.
Guys, she said the hell with the Supreme Court. Now, this is a sitting senator. She said the hell with the Supreme Court. Hell with the Supreme Court. But guys, look at Maxine. Hold on. Let me pull up Maxine Waters' district real quick. Let me pull up what's going on in LA. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. This I want to. This I want to play right here.
Another location where they're taking F. Is there any more locations than this one?
There might be so many people out here.
1 minute. I want everybody to go home. And I want. We don't got no home. Okay. That's why we here.
Hold on. Let me mute myself. Hold on. There might have been an echo.
Another location where they're taking F. Is there any more locations than this one?
There might be so many people out here.
1 minute. I want everybody to go home. And I want. We don't got no home. Okay. That's why we here. Miss Miss Waters, can you home? We gonna go too. Yeah. Just a moment. Just a moment. Nothing is going to happen here today. Nothing is going to happen anymore today. But names. What we're gonna. Well, that's what. Give me. Excuse me. That's why I'm here. And so I will be downtown with Lassa. I will get the housing authority. That's why they came out here today. I made them come out here. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go.
And you need to know why they're failing, because Blanca Jimenez repeated, we gave her several meeting requests for you concerning this in Lassa for years. And now that's
there's nobody in Washington who works for their people in a harder than I do.
I believe you.
I don't want to hear that.
I believe you. So can we finish though? Work with me.
No.
Work with me so we can house people. That's what I'm doing.
I do every day.
You do every day. I'm still in a damn
the
street.
money that you got.
She's 7 years. She doesn't.
Now, guys, when it comes to Roe versus Wade, she's ready to rise up. She's ready to rise up for Roe versus Wade. But when it comes to the black folks in our home district, where homelessness is out of control, she's full of excuses. Full of excuses. She's ready to bum rush the Supreme Court over Roe versus Wade. But when it comes to the black folks in her district trying to get housing, she's full of excuses. This is what you're dealing with. This is what you're dealing with. I mean, this is what you're dealing with right here. Maxine Waters. Her district is crap, okay? I used to feed the homeless in LA every Sunday when I lived in LA. Every Sunday. And the situation has gotten worse for black people. It's embarrassing. I mean, how can you call yourself a leader, right? How can you call yourself a leader and walk outside and see the conditions that your people that you're supposed to lead are living in? But damn it, she's ready to go to war for Roe versus Wade, but she don't want to go to war to end the homeless in her district. And the money's there. They just gave 50 billion to Ukraine for a pointless war that Ukraine is losing, is gonna lose. I mean, think about it. The money is there. They got the money, but they gave 50 billion to Ukraine for a war that Ukraine is gonna lose. But again, Auntie Maxine's ready to bum rush the Supreme Court. But she has nothing for housing for these homeless people in LA that look like me and you. This is crazy. I'm saying I used to live in LA. I lived in LA for 8 years. I'm sorry, 6 years. This is what's going on. Guys, links in the chat room. But like I said, after January 6th, after Roe versus Wade, if there's another civil war, all the Captain Black Americans, I want to know which side you're taking. Because again, you brag about fighting in the American Revolution. You brag about fighting in the Civil War. You brag about fighting in World War I and II, Korea, Vietnam, all these wars. But then at the end of the wars, you guys are still complaining about racism. But at the same time, you want to leverage the fact that you fought in all these wars to say, hey, we American. We as American as anybody. So which side you fighting on? Listen, link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Hold on. You know what? TH, you in the chat? TH, are you in the chat room? Everybody who's super chat, thank you for the super chat. Hey, TH, right? TH, Billy Blanks. Billy Blanks, I want you to call. I want Billy Blanks. I want you to call in, Billy Blanks. I need ADOS and FBA to call in. Billy Blanks, I want you specifically to call in. Guys, do me a favor. If you have not hit the like button so we could tweak the algorithm, please hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button. I'm not fighting for nobody. Listen, I'm out. If something pop off, I'm out. I'm out. Again, if something pops off in America, I'm out. Here we go, Trey.
Donish, what's up, man?
What's up, Trey? Go ahead, bro.
Man, honestly, I'm just, speaking for myself and the sector of FBA that, is politically focused on solutions. I would say we're going to just honestly align ourselves with whoever is offering tangibles. We're strictly tangible focused, and that's our goal.
Okay. So if one side says, you know what? Here we go. Let me ask this question. So at the end, during the American Revolution, Black people who fought on the side of the British were promised slavery. I don't know what the hell Black people who fought on the side of the colonies. I don't know what the hell they were promised. At the end of the war, the Black people who fought on the side of the British went to Nova Scotia, Canada, and then were sent to Sierra Leone. The Black people that fought on the side of the colonies were still in slavery, put back on the plantation. American Civil War, ADOS, FBA fought on both sides. They fought for the Confederate. They fought for the Union. At the end of slavery, still treated like third, fourth class, fifth class citizens. Right. So I'm trying to figure out I don't know what were you guys? What's the better deal? Like you say, well, whoever's offering the most, that's who you're gonna fight for. But if you notice, after these wars, whatever you guys are promised, you're not getting. In fact, your situation ends up worse. So Trey, what is it?
I can't say the situation necessarily ends up worse. Like if we continually make our progress, piece by piece, like we're always scratching and fighting for stuff. So like going piece by piece is kind of the way the FBA movement has been from the beginning.
Okay. All right. The back. Go ahead. The back.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
We hear you just fine. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, my question to you would be if something popped off here in the U.S., how would you be able to leave if something has already started? I think that the only people who will be safe from anything that happened with the U.S. are the people taking the initiative who are leaving now. So how would you leave after something has already popped off?
Oh, there'll be exits out of here. I got what? There's ways to get out of America. I'm not worried about that. I'll leave.
I mean the expressways are going to be jammed every day in regular traffic situations. If something was to be popped off, we won't be able to drive. We won't be able to walk.
The expressway is not the only way out, sir.
I understand, but if you're not living near a border town,
I'll be able to get out. Trust me. The back. Your connection. The back. Your connection's breaking up.
Okay. All right. Is it better now?
That's better. Go ahead.
Okay. So once you consider that flying, and if you're not already in a border state, it's going to be incredibly hard to get out. Once the gas lines start blowing, it's going to be hard to travel through people's private property. So the best thing we can do is, prepare as families. The ADOS and FBA, these are not terms that's used in our communities on a daily basis. I mean, these are internet terms, but I think that no matter where we go in the world, yes, sir.
But the back, you understand. So I'm a citizen of more than one country. So I'll just go to my other home.
Right. But we're gonna be facing the same beast in whatever country it might be. I mean, once you go back and look at the documentaries of Liberia and the Liberian Civil War, I mean, they was harming everybody but the colonizers who was over there.
No. See, the back, no. So this is the problem. You guys always want to deflect to Africa or other countries. Civil war here in America, I have another country, another home I could go to. That's it. That's all.
Okay. So then you don't think that if something happened here in America that it wouldn't be affected, no matter where a person went to, Central America, South America, the Pacific Islands, you don't think that whatever happened over here is going to also, to some degree, happen over there as well?
No. This would be an American issue.
Okay. So is the Russian-Ukraine issue not affecting at least a third of the countries worldwide? I just had a former coworker call me back from Gambia. He said, man, he had to return back to the States because prices were getting too high over there because of the war.
Okay, I'll deal with the prices. I'm talking about we're talking about leaving the country. We're not talking about prices.
I totally agree. And so whatever circumstance you're in, man, you're gonna still be. I still feel that you'll still be against the same circumstances. You still got to fight weather, and no matter where you're at, you still got to be able to protect for you and your family.
Right, and so we'll leave, and we'll deal with the increased prices in Senegal or Nigeria or Sierra Leone, or if prices go up a little bit, that's fine, and we'll just have our farms or eat natural food. We'll be fine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
so if you're talking about going to that part of the world, how many active wars are there now on that continent?
There's no war in Senegal, and there's no war in Sierra Leone. Nigeria has its issues, but there's no war in Senegal. There's no war in Sierra Leone.
Right. Okay. But things could not spill over from things that's happening in the Sahara.
Oh man, you got this the doomsday, defeatist, struggle mentality, bro. Just the fear. I never dealt with anything like this.
No. I don't have fear.
it's the weirdest shit ever. I'm just saying, look, if there's civil war here, okay, this is the question. If there's civil war here in America, so-called ADOS, FBA, this is our homeland. We American. Who you guys fighting for? I'm leaving, and y'all like, no, Dennis, you can't leave. No, I'm leaving. That's
I
the
mean,
question.
and that's fine, brother. And all I'm saying is, wherever in the world that I may be when that happens, I plan on, man, giving 100% or more for my family and whoever is in the same vicinity as me, whether it be family, whether it be colleagues, whoever's in the same vicinity, I plan on protecting and sustaining. And so, I mean, I don't know about picking a side. I mean, you got an influx of Hispanics that's coming here with entitlement. You've got an influx of Arabs. All these people are together. They are all in our communities investing in large facilities. I guess you could call them fallout shelters. Everybody's organizing but us. So whether we go here or whether we go there, I mean, still, what is our plan for wherever we are going to be?
Oh, I'll be straight. I mean, like I said, I'm going to my other home, so I'll be fine. I'll be fine. We'll be fine. My family will be fine. We'll just go into our other homes.
Donis, I think like kind of the premise. I mean, obviously it's a speculation because I mean, I don't think it's gonna hit the fan at the rate that you're talking right now. But it's like if it honestly, like Millie Fuller says, like there's no on earth that you can run away from white supremacy. So like whatever it is with like the diaspora. And
I don't believe Millie Fuller. That's that struggle, mentality that a lot of black people have here in America.
I look at it as him saying you have to stay, like Frederick Douglass said, like need be, we'll die here. Like you have to stay somewhere and face the beast that's dominating us.
Okay, right, exactly. So TH, which side are you gonna fight for?
I'm gonna fight for the side of foundational Black Americans. Whatever's in our best interest at that moment, I'm gonna play it by ear, piece by piece, and then do what's best for our family, like we've always done. And then you see we manifested it to where we're at today. Like I said, it's like one of the highest quality of life Black ethnic group.
I never met such a people that are just so scared of so-called white supremacy. Like, I never met so many black men that are just so scared and dominated by white supremacy. Like,
honestly, every black person you see on the planet is dominated.
You can't take a shit without worrying about white supremacy.
Every black person on the planet is dominated by white supremacy.
When I'm in Senegal, when I'm in Sierra Leone, when I'm over there, nobody's worried about white supremacy.
But Putin says in Africa they think the white man is God, and he's not just making that up.
Again, but nobody is sitting here pressed about no white supremacy. Go ahead, Free Game Podcast.
Diners, which team you want to play for? You want to play for the Jaguars, or you want to play for the Jets? Hey, that's the teams that we picking. But shit, why would you pick a side? In I got another whole sports league over here that's booming. Why would I pick a side when I can go over here to Africa? Like TH, yes, our people are from America. Yes, we built America. Yes, my people are so-called indigenous American. Got proof, got the pictures, got everything, right? But bro, we're not organized. Let's be honest. In our quality, like, have you ever heard of we are living in an advanced third world state. It's just a little bit more advanced than Africa, but we still living in the same circumstances. If you take away the infrastructure of America right now, we will be worse off than most Africans because they have their own way of living. If you take away all the white people in America right now, we will be primitive as hell. We will be holding rocks, trying to create stoves from rocks, trying to reinvent the wheel. Bro, we in America is not in a good state. And when we realize that, that's when I think we can make progress. But right now, you have women, you have your own women that had 26 million abortions. And we're talking about, yeah, we can make stuff. We can make a change. When our number one killer in the black community is the women. 26 million abortions, and we think that shit is going to change. It's not. We are a delusional group of people in America, and we have to realize that to move forward. We kill each other at a high rate. Our women have had more murders than all the murders combined in the last 50 years. You're talking about people who don't know what a woman is. You're talking about people who uh 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 who's fighting for someone else's agenda harder than they fighting for their own agenda. If we fought for reparations like we fought for the LGBT community, then we would have something. But right now, our people are delusional, man. And that's all I gotta say.
Man, can I just get like 2 minutes like uninterrupted, and then you guys can respond like uninterrupted, like because I got to address this like what I call defeatist mentality from a lot of people outside of FBA. Can I just like get this off real quick? I was going to say Francis Cress Welsing said we should use velvet glove resistance. Neely Fuller Jr. says we should document every instance of systematic white supremacy in the biggest book ever written. Dr. Claude Anderson says we should non-stop nationwide campaign to be a protected class of citizen to get lineage-based reparations. They worked tirelessly for 40 years developing counter-racist strategies. They said a way for Black dysfunction to stop is to have a specific agenda when we interact as Black people and politically target systematic white supremacy via thought, speech, and action. Malcolm X essentially said every time he called out white sabotage, a Black person came right behind him and blamed Black people. The Scott family, a foundational Black American family in Mississippi, received $7 million from the state because a female in their family blamed systematic white supremacy and documented as much as she could pertaining to the sabotage of her family in the 1900s. Similar state-sanctioned terroristic acts were done to millions of FBA families in a variety of ways. Currently, when a sector of solution-focused foundational Black Americans attempt to establish a code that follows that similar blueprint regarding lineage-based compensation claims, blaming the U.S. government with case law precedents and obscure but well-documented instances of systematic terrorism, another Black person instantly interjects, declaring that we're dodging accountability as we're politically attempting to hold white supremacy accountable for their documented sabotage of foundational Black American lineages. That's why you often see an emotionally charged, irritated response from foundational Black American family members every time self-accountability gets yelled in our faces. Those of us seeking compensatory justice in the form of tangibles know that actual compensatory action requires detailed, intricate documentation of specific injustices done to specific family surnames. The sector of FBA that attempt to rally and codify other Black Americans to follow this very specific political blueprint find opposition in the form of other Black people pivoting to let's talk about Black on Black crime, or you're never going to get it, which goes directly against the spirit and promotion of the Scott family's $7 million blueprint for holding provable state-sanctioned systematic white supremacy accountable and not automatically pivoting to Black on Black crime or FBA needs self-accountability narratives. The Scott family got their tangibles from the state of Mississippi, the same similar tangibles that are owed to every FBA family, by thoroughly acknowledging / promoting their victim status, putting the word accountability solely on provable acts of state-sanctioned white supremacy and not by focusing on Black crime narratives. That's viewed as off code to the sector of FBA society focused on compensatory justice, and that energy could be spent on promoting the blueprint for comprehensive reparations in the form of tangible compensation for foundational Black American families. So hopefully that clears up why FBA are so sensitive to narratives like, you guys are just deflecting the blame white supremacy. FBA is the problem, or what about Black on Black crime coming from other Black people, especially those from non-foundational Black American lineages. Hopefully I helped you understand the sector of FBA freedmen frustration with those quick pivots back to how we are to blame. And that's kind of like the end.
Okay, all right. Hey, Amar Timney Royalty, go ahead and unmute yourself. Amar, you got to unmute yourself.
How you doing today, Diners? What's going on?
fellas?
Doing good. How are you? Doing good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to point to the brother TH that just gave their long narrative. If let me throw this analogy. If you're a foundational Black American, you're a foundational African. You know that? Because we and you are founders of Africa. Our lineage in Africa goes 11,000 years. You see my name, Amar Timne Royalty. I'm the custodian. I'm the third in line in my kingdom as a custodian to preserve African history. If you're a foundational Black American, you're a foundational African. Your lineage stretch it 11,000 years. Don't stop at 500. Don't limit yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Take everything that's on the table.
Hey, well, are you familiar with Field Order 15?
I'm not familiar with that. What I'm trying to say is based on the synopsis you just gave.
Hey, Field Order 15.
The synopsis you just gave. I'm saying
that was foundational Black Americans. Whenever after, like, you know, the war, and then when we were older, you hear about 40 acres and a mule. They're supposed to stretch from Charles.
I heard about 40 acres and a mule. You don't get me.
But that only was for foundational Black American lineages. Now you can say what you want to say.
What I'm saying is, you take that's what Dynast is telling you. Dynast, like an athlete, is not leaving no plays on the table. You see what I'm saying? Everything that comes his way, he's using it as a leverage.
How did the Scott family get $7 million from Mississippi?
You're talking about one example. You see, this is the problem with Dynast. That's why I like what you're doing. And if I got my way, I swear to God, I'm going to Sierra Leone. I'm trying to go to Sierra Leone the same time you go. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to set up you big time. If I got to spend my last dollar on setting you up big time, it's for a purpose. It's for people like these to the right that limit themselves, you understand what I'm saying, to what America just got to offer. You have everything at the plate. Don't limit yourself just to this place.
Why does our
hold on just a second, but when you say that, that's fine and dandy. It's a lot of people that's from here who's been trying to invest and relocate to Africa or to a country within Africa. What country? But hold on just a second, brother. We just let you speak. Why are there so many Africans and people from African countries migrating over here if what you said is 100% accurate?
Okay, let me give you a typical example of the typical African that migrates over here. First of all, the caliber of African that migrates over here, that area is preserved for people in a political class that came over here and got their degrees. They're alumni of certain schools over here, so they want their kids to continue their trend. The majority of political
I have met very few that fit that criteria. Most of them are over here getting regular jobs just like us.
I'm giving you a typical example.
Brother, I can get 100 people on chats from 55 different African countries who have regular jobs over here, who have not been to a college or don't know anything about American politics.
The majority of the people who came to America from Africa have their family members in high-ups that paved their way. They just came over here and chose not to go to college. But you check every root of those family members. But I'm a typical example. I got family, I went to college. I got my whole family, my whole brothers and sisters went to college. There are some cousins that didn't go to college. They're out there driving trucks. They're out there doing other things. They don't want to do it. So, but they get the influence from my people because my people paved the way. My people were in higher positions where when they selecting people to come to America, they paved the way for them. When they come over here, they do what they want to do. So it's a certain caliber of people. So when you say, first of all, some of us, we got a lot going on back over there, and we have our lives over here. but we always compare what we will do because we're making sacrifices just because we want a resume. This is the way back home. When I go back home, I'm a member of the All People's Political Party. You see what I'm saying? In Sierra Leone. The criteria when you go back, you come here, you go to college, you go to 7 colleges, and you build your resume. When you go back home, when they're considering people for jobs and stuff like that, 7 colleges stand out. Says your resume gotta be good. Because they're gonna come back and work.
All right.
That's what people are doing.
We totally get that. Okay, that represents maybe 25% of the African migrants.
Man,
what about the 75%?
Let me bust your bubble right now. My dad was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. You know what the Minister of Foreign Affairs is? The man from Sierra Leone that deals with all foreign countries. He had a PhD from Washington State. Let me tell you that right now.
Hey, Amara.
So,
I have a question for you, family. I have one question for you. Like, are you in support of foundational Black American families receiving comprehensive reparations specifically to their families?
You can receive reparations.
I asked you in support.
Listen. What the Dynas questions is, if there was, listen to the title, if there was a civil war that broke out.
But that was a yes or no.
No, but I'm going by the topic on the plate.
Oh, so you're not for it. This is the problem right here.
You can get your reparations. Nobody's not stopping you from reparations.
I'm asking if you're supportive. Your energy sounds very oppositional.
Dynas can get his reparations, but he got choices. He got choices. Anything broke down in America, he got another home, and it's been proven before. 200 years, the people that run the city of Freetown are what?
So those people, foundational Black Americans get their reparations and also link with the continent.
Those people can listen. That's not gonna stop you from doing anything. You can get your reparations and still move to Sierra Leone if some broke out in America.
Why do non-foundational Black Americans sound so hostile when we talk about that?
It's not about. I don't have anything against reparations. Bro, I don't have nothing against that.
You clearly are spazzing right now when I brought that up.
What Dynas is saying, you deviating from the topic. What Dynas is saying is, I've got 2 homes. If some go down in America, it's been proven before. The people that sit in Freetown, Sierra Leone are leaving their example of some that happened in America, and they went to
Amar, they don't know that. So they don't know that, but they don't know. They don't understand that.
Why does our delineation make non-FBA so angry?
Wow.
Anyway, I'm out, man. It's Dynas. It was good talking to you. You guys, man, I have fun talking to y'all. I'm out. I'm in my point. I'm good.
Okay. Hey, Dynas, I have a question. And a point to make. I have no, you can't limit what we might or might not know. And so I have no problem with you guys. You guys have a residence here and a residence there. It seems like you guys will be running from, hold on just a sec. It seems like you guys will be running from the supremacy more than us. Now, me as an individual, I've worked with groups who have invested into the continent. And I've had a lot of continental Africans say, hey, don't trade there. Your stuff is going to come up missing. If you're not dealing with the military, hey, it's a gamble. And so it's a lot of people from here who don't mind investing. But why wait until something happens to run and leave? Why can't we go now? Why can't we go now and build and properly develop instead of taking advantage of an emergency?
Who's stopping you from building and properly developing now?
No. I'm asking you as a host of this great podcast right here. You have great topics, brother. I do not take that away from you. You're over here in America only talking about the negative sides of America. Why not are you already in Africa broadcasting and showing us the building and development in the background, or as B-roll?
I'm back and forth. And I've had the development in the background here on the show plenty of times.
Okay, so why would you take a chance to get stuck here, knowing that the bottom is about to fall out? Because if things really happen, it's cool to say, hey, I've got a way out. if things really happen here the way they say it's going to happen, it's going to be a worse civil war than any other civil war in our lifetime that has happened anywhere on this planet. We're not going to be able to leave. We may not be able to leave our neighborhood. Just being totally honest and practical. Why would you take a chance at risking that coming back here if it's so great over there?
No, I'm back and forth. Again, I'm back and forth. I'm just asking the question: do you have a plan B? But really, the question is,
Yes, yes, sir.
which side is FBA, ADOS going to fight for? Because again, the argument is claim the fame,
Brother,
the leverage. We fought in every single war. That's what we fought in every single war. So I'm just asking, which side
okay.
are you guys going to fight on?
I would say, like, clearly, I would say you clearly are saying that it's extremely speculative, because there's no way you would, if you thought it was like writings were on the wall for real, then and you had that option, then you would shake now. Like if you're going to talk speculation, then a lot of people could say like, oh, China. Like a lot of people think, and I don't want to argue because speculation can turn into weird arguments, but a lot of people think that China is the future in Africa. So it's almost like we also have the NOI and stuff invested in here after farms, and there's black people buying land in America. So there is, like, we can invest here too. I'm not saying don't do both. That's great what you're doing, but you clearly don't think it's that deep or that real if you're not gonna already escape now.
Great assertion, brother.
I think you're muted, bro.
Hey, Dynasty, if you're speaking, you may be on mute.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
You're back.
Okay, yeah, he was still muted. Guys, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Link is in the chat. Okay, I think he finally muted himself. All right, Diago, go ahead.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, but there's
Can
an
you guys
echo.
hear me?
Go ahead.
What about now? Yes, yeah. I'm an African. I just don't think it's smart for Black Americans to move back to Africa, man. I think it's a mainly irrational thing to do, you know. But yeah, it seems like a good thing, but I don't think it will be a good thing as a group, you know. But one or two or three can make it work in Africa, but I just don't think the majority will. This is just the truth.
Okay, can you expand on that?
Yeah, because for starters, you see, the foundationals have been in the United States for 4 centuries. I believe that this already creates a connection to America rather than Africa, because most of the points people are making here is actually a connection with Africa. I don't think it's logical or smart to assume that after 400 years you can have a connection with Africa like that, man. You see, it's not realistic. You know, it's smart as an ethnic group to make it work in the United States rather than Africa. That's just how I see it.
Hey, Dynasty, if you're speaking, you're on mute.
Yeah, we can't hear you, bro.
Hey, Dynasty, you're on.
Yeah, I made my point. You know, I just don't think it's a smart thing to do to
Yeah, we don't hear you.
to make it seem like Africa has the solutions. Africa actually doesn't have the solution.
Can you guys hear me? Press 1 if you
Yeah.
can hear me.
Now, what I'm saying is,
Now you're back.
Yeah.
I just heard that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Diago. Oh, we lost him. Guys, can you hear me? Guys, press
Yes,
1 if
sir.
you hear me.
Yeah, you're
hear
back
me?
now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Links in the chat room. Again, link is in the chat room. Okay, here's Diago. Diago's coming back. Okay, yeah, Diago got his his stuff. Diago, go ahead, Diago, meet yourself.
yeah. I was saying that it's not. Yes, what I'm saying is, I don't think it's a realistic thing to actually sell this narrative that Africa is home to FBA. And I understand their talking points, and I support them with reparations. And I think that immigration is a problem in the United States as far as their interests go. You understand? So I don't really think it's a realistic thing to look as Africa as a home, as a strategy. That's just how I see it.
Go ahead, Colin. Colin Genesis, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hear you just fine.
Okay, this topic is something else. You know, topic is something else. You think about it, right? Doom and gloom. What if concern? We have to do a better way as Pan-Africanists to make Africa more appealing than looking at the worst possible scenario. Because we insult the intelligence of intelligent black people in America. The type of black people that respond to this post, right, are the ones we don't want in Africa. You know, people are like, oh, $50,000. You could go live in a village, Colin. $50,000 a year. Get the fuck out of here. You know, if we got the intelligence that other races got, right, all right. Black America, right? If we had the right people leading the Pan-African movement, right, we can compete with the Chinese, Russians, everybody else. But we always go to the lowest common denominator, you know? Oh, woe is us, woe is us, woe is us, woe is us. And then we go to Africa or whatnot, you can't do nothing because you're already defeated. We need people that are gonna hold their goddamn head up like men, like our ancestors that fought in the Civil War, that fought in every last single war, that built Black Wall Street. That's the energy you got to bring to Africa. So we're going forward. We're marching forward. We're going to help you. We're going to build together. That's the spirit that PAIO was founded on. You know, but this, yes, what are we going to do? And all stuff like this, man. We're fucking men. And we have to die here in America. Let us die. Let us fight to the last man. Like Ida Well said. When it's time for us to go, we're going to go on our own terms. But no one's going to force us out of anything. That's cowardice. You know, so I don't want to put that energy out there. Pan-Africanism, this Pan-Africanism don't think like that. You know, I'm looking for real men. You know, this thing like here, we're the strongest black men on the freaking planet. Everybody knows that. But our mind is enchained. If you free the black person's mind, the black man's mind in America, he's going to go anywhere in the world and take over the freaking
Carla,
world.
can I interject right there? Let me just interject right there. You know, it's easy to speak and have ideas, but you know what's hard is to implement those ideas. And this is what we as global black people.
I think I can't hear you. But hold up 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Can you hear me now?
But what I'm saying is this though. The problem is the people. Like let me give you an example, right?
Guys,
I've been in contact with people in Angola, top people in Angola, government and everything. This country is not even discussed in the Pan-African circles, right? This country is looking. They told me they're looking for African Americans to get into the oil sector, diamond sector. But black people, all they go into these English-speaking countries, right? They don't even say, okay, this country. Angola's GDP is going to rival the West in a few years. That's a country that's like 3 times the size of Nigeria, right? And it only has a population of 30 million people. It needs black people in America. But because of the Portuguese language, we don't want it. Mozambique is another country, right? They're doing tremendous things. No black people in America.
Mozambique. I'm from Mozambique. Listen. It would be good to have American capitalists, you see, but what the Pan-Africans are making, you see, is like they're drawing a narrative that Africa is this place where you will enjoy living and all this. I'm in Africa. I've never been.
Bottom line, but I don't want that energy to get out there. I want Pan-Africans that's gonna come with money, business, be organized, and act like freaking men. You know what I'm saying? That's what Africa needs. It don't need our losers.
Yeah, it's great for capitalists. You see, what we need to look for are the capitalists, and this is what you know. You guys
hey, brother, check this out. But get this, brother. They're Portuguese, backed up by their government, right? 300,000 living in Angola alone, right? And now this is what pisses me the fuck off, right? The same, I have arguments with Portuguese, and I can speak the Portuguese language a little bit and stuff like that. There's Portuguese trying to sever themselves. They fear Black America. You know, same thing in Angola. They don't want the black from the West coming there. This old philosophy called Amma Malinka. Amma Malinka is a descendant of return of African Americans to Southern Africa. That's an old prophecy in Southern Africa, right? That's that people think that's going to happen. Bottom line is this, right? You got countries like this where people are doing real things. If we want black people to go over to Africa, right? Where is the African American repatriation, the investment fund, right? Where are we invested in the stock exchanges in Africa? The U.S. are building out
Right.
stuff like that you could buy into, so people
So
can
I
go over
think
there and they can live comfortably. We need to get
right.
those
So
conversations happen, not just say, get on the plane, go to Africa tomorrow. No, 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 nothing. You're gonna starve to death. You're gonna look like a fool, but just go over there. And I don't want that. I don't want
Well,
people thinking that's what we're about. You know?
no. Listen,
people
Carla,
people here are
I'm
looking for a
saying
trust factor.
I'm saying all of this with my deepest respect as an African. I've seen this. You see, I know how the government works. My father worked in government and all of these kinds of things. Now, it's good to the American capitalists, but you cannot make it seem like Africa is this solution to the problems of black people in the Western world because it's not. And let me tell you something.
It's
Most people who
part of
will
it.
move to Africa, most people who will move to Africa, in my belief, will eventually be disappointed or will not stay in Africa for a long period of time. This is just how I see it. But now it's good to make money. I wish I could do business with you and give you gold, give you diamonds, for you to sell in America for profits in dollars. You see, but I don't think that
We have
seeing
hold on,
Africa
hold
as
on.
a
We have the gold bullion bank in Angola.
yes, I
You
know
heard about
that.
the gold
I know
bullion,
that.
the gold bullion
I'm
bank in
familiar with it.
Angola.
I'm familiar with it. But it's good for the capitalists. You see, people with a capitalistic mentality and want to make profits in Africa. You see, because you cannot look. I always see this. We need to employ black people. Now, you need to employ people that will give you profits first because your business got to survive. If you go with this
Right.
charity mentality, you want to be a philanthropist doing business, it's not going to work. First,
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Right. And like I said, black
yeah,
people in America are an emotional people. We look at things emotional. We look at
okay,
Africa emotional. We look at America emotional. We don't think practically. When you put something
okay,
before somebody, make something like that, there's never any sort of, okay, this is what's going on. This is what we have going on. These are people on the ground. This is who you can plug in with. Like, there's nothing set up. It's just that everybody starting from scratch and just go over there and just whatever it is. And what happens is when people go over there and fail, they get bitter. They come back and they say, "Man, I should have never listened to that man." And then I got people that went over to the continent and back, and they're full ADOS FBA and saying, "Fuck Africa." That's some freaking shit
Hey,
because
hold on.
they didn't
Guys,
listen, plan,
favor.
and do the right
Hold on.
thing.
Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Again, please hit the like button. And yeah, they usually go to just one country. It doesn't work out. Then all of a sudden, all of Africa is bad. Free Game Podcast. Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, man. I want to ask. I want to ask TA something. T-
Free game. Your connection is like you got that crackling sound. Maybe check out and log out and come back in.
You can
So yeah,
hear me now?
that's better. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to ask TA something. TA, why? Okay, we can fight for this thing. We can be all for America. We can stay here, right? But when are we going to realize that?
Fight for what?
Huh?
Fight for what?
Let,
Fight for
let,
what?
let, 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 let him finish. Let
Hold
him
on.
finish.
Let me
Go ahead.
finish, Colin. Let me finish. When are we going to realize that if we was here pre-Columbus, when are we going to realize these people kicked our ass? When are we going to realize that we lost the
Oh,
war and we may
Nah,
not ever get the land back?
well, I mean,
nah,
that's a defeatist attitude, man.
nah,
You never admit defeat, bro.
That's sucker shit right.
nah.
That's sucker shit right there.
No,
Real
first,
sucker shit.
hold on, Dynas, you play football, right? When you went against Alabama, you said, okay, what do I take away from this game? Why did they beat us?
Right.
That's the mindset that I have.
Well, I strongly disagree with that, right? Because bottom line, do you know if you're really serious about your argument, they had a plan to exterminate us. They really did.
Yeah.
Right after the Civil War, right? We weren't supposed to be here. They said Lincoln said the last minute, no, they want to round black people up after the Civil War, cut us off and kill us. They said, but that will be a stain on their civilization. That's well documented that they really had that conversation of what to do with the ex-slaves in America.
Let me finish.
You know,
Let me finish.
they hold on. And I'm not gonna let people disrespect my ancestors, right? Because you feel like a loser, whatever, like this. You know.
Let me respond to the question he asked me real quick, because I agree with you too, caller. But what I would say, free game, and this is my honest opinion. I'm gonna
and nobody in Africa wants losers, man. I'm saying right now, I want winners. I don't want that mentality of losing around me.
Can I finish first?
Can I just answer the question real quick?
No, he's not done with the
But
question.
most
Right?
Africans are losers. That's what it makes it. Most Africans are losers.
They don't want more losers. They don't want more losers. You know.
Well, but the losers are reproducing.
Hey, guys, one mic. Free game podcast. Go ahead.
They don't want more.
Let me finish first. We have to get. What I'm saying is, first, we have to admit that it was a weakness in our strategy, which is a weakness in our strategy now, because it's not enough black people here that's willing to be on code. So sometimes we have to go elsewhere to get a game plan. You saying that, okay, white supremacy is everywhere. Of course, white supremacy everywhere, but it's relevant when you go to Africa, like Dynas was saying, that they not worried about white supremacy over there. Why? Because it's majority black. So I feel like I'm not saying that we should accept this defeatist mindset. What I'm saying is sometimes we have to go learn and get strategy from other places. And sometimes
bro, until has a problem with your argument, right? Look, the bottom line is I've said this on so many shows and everything like this, right? But unfortunately, it falls on deaf ears. Until we build Black African infrastructure up, right? You're always going to be by default under white supremacy. The Asians the Asians took over Asia. Little tiny Asians knocked the white man upside the head, you know, and war and in economics and everything. The black race, right? Whether you go to, it doesn't matter right now. At this point, it doesn't matter whether you go to Haiti, stay in the United States, stay in Africa, and everything. As long as the infrastructure that controls Africa is under foreigners and Chinese, pretty soon they're going to be building their own railways on the continent, and black people around the world. It starts with the black people on the Africans on the continent, right? Reaching out to us. That's why I have zero tolerance for all this tribalism and this bickering back and forth between Africa. I know who's the orchestrator. It's a white man, and our enemies are behind all this. You know, I have no beef with Nigerians or diasporas.
Let me respond to what he asked me. Right, I agree with you, Carla. Like as far as the energy, but what I would say is I can only speak about myself, and I'll give a little more information about who I am. Like as far as this ass whipping you're talking about, we took and just accept defeat. I look at it like, okay, I come from a strong lineage. My wife comes from a strong lineage of foundational Black Americans. I play, Division I basketball here in America, SEC, traveled the world, lived in multiple countries for like 7 years, playing over in Europe, then came back. My wife went to University of Penn, got her master's. I came back, got my master's. Her great grandfather was the first Black senator in North Carolina. He had 500 acres of land. He had a 2-story grocery store that they took from the American Lumber Company, took it from him. And then now their family is still prosperous with doctors.
Now everybody knows I always clown. Hold on.
You gotta let me finish, Colin. Let me finish.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, when you say this, like, ass whipping and like just when we're gonna accept it, yes, we white supremacy has their foot on our neck. But when I look at my family, I got 3 sons, and then I told you my wife's situation, told you my situation. To me, that's the model. Like how Welsing said, Black love is a revolutionary act. We're sitting here still building. We're gonna make a case for her grandfather also had 400 acres of land. Her great grandfather on the other, like, had 400 acres of land in Virginia, was taken. You know, so these are things. When I look at the Scott family, who went and got $7 million from the state of Mississippi because they documented everything. Like, there's really a case and case law precedent for comprehensive reparations, and on top of that, we're not just sitting up waiting. I'm sitting here like as living proof of what you can do.
Also, like I said.
Well, hold on 1 second. Ben Uko.
Now I'll say it like this. Now me and TH don't see eye on nothing.
Kyler, hold on. Ben, go ahead and unmute yourself, Ben. Ben Uko, are you there? All right, going once, going twice.
Well, Dynast, can I just address 2 points?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me say what I'll say what TH said.
Okay.
Hold on. Diago, go ahead.
Okay, the first point is, Carla said that we need to build a global black infrastructure to go against white supremacy. I agree with it. But I believe as long as the dollar is the reserve currency, everything you do will go back to the United States making white people wealthy. That's the first thing you need to understand. Now, the second thing, you said that white people divided the Africans with tribalism. Well, as far as my country goes, white people actually united the Africans, because the Africans where I'm from live in isolation. So the creation of my country, which is Mozambique, speak Portuguese, which makes us have a language that we all can speak and understand. It makes us actually have a way to interact with each other, which we never had before. So the fact that you're saying that whites divided Africans, it depends on the region. I think that Africans were always tribal and they never look for ways to understand each other. But I don't know where you're getting this information that the whites divided the Africans. Now, they use tribalism as a tool to get
my whole thing is, but check this out. Now, what you call Samora Machel, you're a revolutionary Portuguese, one of the most educated black men that ever lived, right? Samora Machel. Anyway, he said that the African is the only group of people, right? We brag about our colonizers, right? He goes, we Mozambicans will colonize them backward. And have it so good in Angola and Mozambique because the Portuguese are so rich. You guys got rid of them. You guys uprooted the Portuguese, right? But the rest of Africa, right there, the colonial interest is still entrenched there. And what we're saying is they play Africans against each other. And Kata was created as a death squad among the Zulus to hunt down other Africans and undermine the Pan-Africanist movements of the ANC and everything. So it's more to it than that. I get calls. I had this one guy, I think Dynast reading his comments, this guy named Congo, right? He's been following, trolling me all over the internet, man. He finds me on things like that. He won't leave me alone. He says, "Oh, Colin, you're Congolese ancestry. We got to wipe out the friggin' Rwandans. We got to wipe out Paul Kagame." I said, "Nigga, I'm not interested in your goddamn tribal wars. I'm a Pan-African." No, oh man, the Congo has to rise up again. All this stupid tribal stuff because people are, one is poverty. One is people got too much time on their hands, and one is people aren't thinking really clearly, you know? And so that's what we have going on. And I got to deal with people all the time, right? This tribe did this. I said, is it really that important? I'm trying to get them to see the bigger picture of being black and African and that. And they want to talk to me about this tribe, this tribe, that tribe, this tribe, that. And it's really, really frustrating, you know? And so, like I said, I'm open to looking into other parts of Africa, Portuguese Africa, Mozambique, Angola, and places like that that don't have the French and the Negropeans and the Europeans and whatnot. And I like what I'm seeing in Mozambique and in Angola, as far as like black pride and black nationalism, you know, I think they pretty much get it. But other parts of Africa and whatnot, they got a long ways to go. That's why I tell people all the time, before like I said, we need to be organized. We need to build an infrastructure.
Diago, so whenever you unmute yourself, Diago, there is an echo. It's on your end. But Mass Kwesi, go ahead, Kwesi.
Yes, I was sitting in and just listening. A lot of ideas been expressed. However, I've been living in the Gambia for about 4 years, and I've married into the culture here. So, I was listening to the brother actually, I think it was KH or KT, and he's a FBA, and he was just talking about how, his family had wealth and they were stripped of that wealth. And that's a part of our history in America. Even when we came together as a collective, when we build the Black Wall Street communities of our culture, it was always attacked by those who were around us, or the white population. There was a documentary that I watched about it was Rosewood, and one of the last survivors, she was like, they asked her what advice would she give to the future generations, and she said, never live in a place where your enemy can surround you. Okay, so being in America, we got to understand that every institution there was created to suppress us as a people. So we can't go into these institutions. My aunt, my first aunt is Constance Baker Motley, and she was the first black federal court judge there in the in the U.S. Right, Manhattan. She was Manhattan Borough president, and we, through integration, that was the whole idea, that I have a dream idea that we would integrate into that society, and that has not worked for us. Now we've come to a point where we see, not to mention that just the mass death that we've experienced as a community over the last 30 years. I just made a post. Our community has been in the Civil War for the last 30 years, but they call that pop culture. It's cool, it's hip, to be a thug and to be a killer. You understand what I'm saying? So much so that we can have a discussion about a civil war, a white civil war, and not address our own situation as being a situation that's critical. And we have to, right now, I mean, so many generations have been destroyed. The best time for our growth and economic development was during the 60s and the 50s. All of that, now we're living in a very different time. We have warfare being waged against us on so many different levels. This fentanyl epidemic, we had the war on drugs, we have the financial and the educational war. Our best tactic, or how we respond to American society, or what we do, is we send our children for higher learning in within their society, and that's the only thing that we look towards. Hey, let's send our school to, go out, get a good education, make it in this society and things like that. But, for the few of us that, realize that haven't worked for us, Africa presents an opportunity where we can come and we have opportunity to actually have ownership in terms of land. Now, once we have our land, once you're on if you're living on someone else's land, you're always going to have a landlord. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said a man cannot be free unless he owns his own land. And that don't mean, now many of us that's in America, I've been there where in my mind where I was like, I'm not going to Africa. That was the last thing on my mind to come to Africa. So the ones that are there, we have to get together and we have to buy land, and we have to make that a place where we can go and where we can, protect our value system. I went back to the U.S. a few months ago, and I was watching TV, and I don't have anything against gays and homosexual and lesbians and things like that, but it's in everything now. Every Netflix movie, they're introducing this into, the minds. So you think about it, another 10 or 20 years, what type of society America kind of be? They just driving it morally into the dirt, economically into the dirt. And that's a sign for us, because we're in the way of what's coming to America. You can't do dirt for that long. You can't be as corrupt as America has been and not expect the consequences to come back and be as reckless. America is a debt society, but they'll tell you to have good credit. But in any case, even coming to Africa, we can't bring the same mentality over here. What I've seen over the past 4 years of being here in the Gambia is, people going after the money. And they'll do that at the expense of the people that's looking to come over here. So you have people that's already over here that'll say, okay, come over here. They have this new Pan-Africanist mentality, right? This pseudo Pan-Africanism where the house is the ultimate goal. Come over here, build your house, and retire. All right. But as they preach this, these prophets that are preaching this, they're telling you, build my house for me. So everybody's looking on and saying, hey, I want to be able to achieve that goal, but everybody can't get those donations. You know, everybody's not charismatic. Everybody don't have the time to sit up and create a YouTube channel to get people, you know, that's looking and wanting to see, you know, so everybody can't fit that model. And it's going to, you know, it has created problems here. So the ones
Can I
that
go
will be
next?
successful are the business developers. Those are coming over. You know, we have to build communities that's off grid, because we want to be able to have an environment where we understand collective economics. Like all the people that's here in the Gambia, there's not one store that we can go to that's a diaspora store. You understand what I'm saying? And there's enough people here where we could, you know, have containers coming in somewhere, and that's a place where we go. You understand what I mean? So, you know, there's works to do, there's challenges, but it always have to be those challenges. You understand? Since I've been here, I've done extremely, extremely well, despite, you know, some of my enemies here on the ground that, you know, that didn't want us to do well as a community. You know, so those things are inherent, and those things are here as well as you come, when you come. But however, the ones who are entrepreneurs, we have a social responsibility. So when you come over, build businesses, not businesses that's going in competition with the locals. You know, we have to bring in machinery. We have to bring in equipment. We have to be able to support these local businesses and help them to grow and create those type of relationships, and then be able to build communities and focus on the youth. You know, a lot of our people are just hurt and bitter. I see it all the time. I was on the live the other day and we were talking, and this lady was mad at how nice I look. She started talking about my family and disregard all of the people that I educated and I trained over here and what I do when I speak. You understand? They can't even identify with that. And it's, you know, but we know our people. That's how we you know, some of our people are. But the ones that are business developers and things like that, we have to be able to come together and create institutions. Everybody, you know, we can have a financial community where we have our own cryptocurrency, you know, fiat currency, and that things that is going through issues right now. So we got to be able to create our own type of economy, like bartering, before, you know, money was in wide circulation. Because as long as they have control over the money, and we're chasing that, they're going to have power over us in terms of our capitalistic, individual, and materialistic mindset that's causing, you know, a disturbance. But anybody that want to come over, get with Dynast, get with Bomani, get with whoever you have to. And when you come over, you know, make an assessment. You know, and then, you know, get with brothers that's building and that have things in place, like, you know, institutions or building communities and things like that. And let's make a positive contribution.
Hey, I have a few things like in response to what you said. I think you said a lot of great stuff, and I think you were speaking 100% real and honest, man. So I would say it's like, with Africa being, you know, so resource rich and like having so much wealth, when did it also make sense? Because there's just kind of like I've seen a philosophical kind of debate between, I guess, FBA and some of the Pan-African movement and people on the continent, as we look at it as Africa is a little more indirectly controlled by white supremacy than people on the continent are willing to admit. And we also would say that, like, one question I would have to you at the end, but I'll answer that later. But anyways, I would say, when it makes sense for that wealth in Africa, some people, like some of those like super wealthy, like rich people, to go ahead and help invest in foundational Black Americans over here with like our land development. And like, we have people trying to buy farms and land also, so that we could build up over here and then make it be more of an equal, like, two-way street of trade and investment, instead of always like, hey, FBA, you come over here. Meanwhile, we're telling you that we have all the resources and everything. Wouldn't it also be smart for you guys to do that to us? But then my other question is what, like, African country do you guys think that, like, the West or white supremacy couldn't just destabilize overnight if they felt like it?
Okay, I mean, with regards to you know, as far as instability, you in more of harm's way in the U.S. than you will be here. Like they had here in Gambia, they had the Yahya Jammeh, and he was a dictator, but they had a bloodless coup. I was just saying, in my area where I'm from, they kill up more people than these countries do when they go through these type of situations. And you could be in a country and something take place like a coup, and it's not like when everything was taking place here during Jammeh time. I wasn't scared. You know what I mean? I got shot in the land out. I was seen all of that. I wasn't worried about that. But like I said, it's not even that serious. Now, and if you have your own community somewhere, the Indians are doing fine, the Lebanese are doing fine, the Chinese don't care about none of all of that. They're over here in the U.S., if there are people over there that are building. There's a brother, he got Freedom Nation, and I mean, it got to be a ton of people that's over there building. And you guys need to get together and collectively work on that. And those who are on continent, whatever country you in, we need to come together. But like I was sharing before, my goal now is not really to work that way. My goal is to create manufacturing business, right? Invest in IT and crypto. I have people with me, and I'm teaching them all about that. We have over 100 different, different cryptos, and be able to get the resource to build communities where only 30% represent diaspora, and 70% of the community is going to be like, youth, young adults that we have, that we're working with on career path, home ownership, and that we're mentoring. We have to focus on the youth. Every time I go on my compound, the boys, they're sitting around, they have nothing to do. I always try to give. At one time, we had 20 people working within my organization. If nobody, everybody, you can go to my YouTube channel and look at some of the older videos. I really don't post like that, but you'll see me working with people and things like that. But in any case, just think about it. All the people that are coming over here, if we don't cater or help and create prosperity for the people in our community, and you have a nice 2-story house with all of this stuff that you imported in there, you're going to have people jumping over there, breaking into your house. You understand what I'm saying? I never have problems in my community. Everybody in my community love me. I'm well known here because when I came over here, I started training. For 2.5 years, I had people come to my compound for free. I gave them breakfast and lunch, because I have my business in the States, and transportation every day. Then I end up employing like 10 of them. And I did that for 2.5 years before I went out my compound and became very influential in the repat movement here. But in any case, I solidified myself. So if anything happened, I'm straight. I have 4 families here. I have children in 3 tribes here: Wolof, Jola, and Mandinka. You understand what I'm saying? So in any case, those who are in the States definitely have to have a plan, and you guys need to work on that end. And then those who are over here, like I said, it's really about, building and creating businesses that are relevant. $60 billion in imports into this country every year. $60 billion. And we have people that are coming, opening a beauty supply store, opening restaurant, right? When we should have zeroed in on a product that we can produce here. I just ran into a brother from the UK, from Gambia. He picked up the peanuts. He was outraged. He was like, hey, these peanuts from Gambia, they shipped them over to the UK, put some honey on them, and shipped it back here for twice the price. Simple things like that we can, offset those imports and really bring in some great money for development and community build.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, man. I would say, like, for the mission, because just speaking, from the foundational Black American perspective, like you seem to be the model, so I think that, like, even what Dynast pushes, I feel like that is the end game, once we all fix our own, like Africa on the continent, they fix all of their problems, FBA fix our problems. I do think we have to globally unite and, help secure and fortify each other. But I would just say, I guess, from like where we're at currently, it's going to take more. Because, like, just some of the people who are more outspoken with FBA, they sell Pan-Africanism more as like a fairy tale because, we kind of do need to see more like, hey, what does it look like over there? Like, show us what you've built. Show us like this network, this community, this infrastructure that if we were to go over there or were to want to just even focus our attention, like you have to kind of like be able to pry people.
Listen, go to my community page and just scroll down the page a little bit, and then you'll see some of them. We want to become more valuable in the market. Okay.
Question. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right, go ahead. I just want to make sure my sound was having I was having some issues with my sound. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Now check this out. Imagine if you can come three or four times better. Okay. That's what Africa is going to do for you. In America, you have to be 3 times better than the white man. So you already behind. Okay. Over here, you can be 4 times better in that you can empower your environment around you. I mean, first of all, you can buy land and you can build for relatively cheap. You can build a campus. You can build a campus, and it could be just you and 2 or 3 other people. We don't have to crowd up. We can't crowd up. We got to spread out. Okay. We have to take our knowledge and everything that we accumulated. I do go back to the Bible, the prophecy of Abraham, and in the Bible it says his seeds will be in a land that's not theirs, and they'll be oppressed for 400 years. Then afterwards they will come out with great possessions. So many people would perceive the great possessions to be diamond and gold and material wealth. But the great possession is the knowledge that we have from building in America for over 400 years. So we take that knowledge. When you're riding through these different countries and you're looking at land, you're going to be like, hey, a city the size of Manhattan could be to the left. A city could be the size of Chicago. We can come and build a whole city here. They say Manhattan borough costs around $1 to $2 trillion. So we're spending that. We're spending $1 trillion a year. 5-year plan. Let's build us a Manhattan. Or something, a similar brand.
Yeah, I think we lost the brother. Guys, can you hear me? Like, press 1 in the chat room if you can hear me.
You're back now.
Okay, yeah, I was having some issues with my sound. Links in the chat room. Gas them up. Go ahead, gas them up.
Yeah, man. I just want to talk on that topic. I mean, from what I've been hearing, the brother's been saying some real good stuff, especially the last brother who was speaking. He was really hitting home as to how you enculturate yourself within any community, whether it be Africa, pardon the noise, but whether you're in Africa or anywhere, you have to, go in there with value. You have to present value, and you have to a certain degree, blend in with the local community. So when the brother says something that was very key, he said that he has families. He has families. He has blood ties. And I think a lot of times, especially going to Africa, if in my opinion, if you're going to go to Africa, you got to have some sort of familial network that's making sure you're safe, making sure you're good, and again, providing value. But I want to touch on the topic, because I think you were supposed to have this conversation yesterday. I will say because I was watching the film Django again, and I really think the ADOS FBA are pretty much Steven. That's what they are. That character that Samuel L. Jackson played in that film is pretty much what FBA ADOS is all about. I think they have a crisis of identity, and as opposed to engaging within the unknown of what will happen to them if they embrace Africa, they'd rather stick with what they know, even if it's not necessarily benefiting them, and it's understandable. So that's just my take on it.
Would you say that Frederick Douglass had a crisis of identity?
Of course he did. Of course he did. I mean, remember, like, we can't discount the trauma, not only the trauma that motherland people have faced in terms of the forced dislocation of people in groups, because on my show, I'm not trying to plug. I really don't want a big channel, so please don't show up if you're not interested in abstract voodoo type of conversations. But on my show, I had a conversation with a brother who was trying to, we were talking about, for example, African culpability within the slave trade. And we were able to pinpoint which groups and which elites amongst those groups were responsible. So, the narrative of they sold us, we were able to dig into that, and people, we were able to have a great conversation about that. And again, it's on my channel. And so I think we kind of undermine how traumatic those events were, even amongst our so-called scholarly class, whether they're on the continent, the Caribbean, or in Africa. So I'll give you another example. Frantz Fanon, brilliant dude, wrote great books. Wretched of the Earth, Black Skin, White Mask. But Fanon had a CIA handler, right? You could Google that. He had a dude that handled him that worked for the CIA. Now, I don't know what that's all about, but it is what it is. So, you could put Frederick Douglass up there, whoever. If you grew up in this Babylon under modernity and you've been snatched from the motherland, and our psyche, not only the trauma, but knowledge has been snatched from us. We don't even educate ourselves as Africans, right? And I end with that statement from Dr. Sebi. He was a wise man. He said, "You don't see the gorilla give their child to the polar bear and say, educate my child." So we don't even have knowledge from an African perspective. We're not even engaging in those type of thinking. So yeah, Frederick Douglass had a major crisis of identity issues.
I would say a lot of foundational Black Americans, though, look at like some of the behavior we see on the continent as like they might be the most traumatized group of Black people on the planet. With like the white Jesus, why we really see like people literally like parading around white Jesuses over there, the Chinese over there, what they did to those African kids with the racism.
Trey.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, but Trey, listen, look.
Hold on, gas them up. Trey, is white Jesus not in America?
I mean, you won't see, you can't find a video of foundational Black Americans.
Trey, I want you to do. I want you to look up videos of freaking men in dresses like it's normal. In Africa. You might
you say I deflect. You say I deflect.
Hold on, Trey. Hold on. Even though it's legal in South Africa, I mean, we had a BET Awards, Black Entertainment Television. You got men walking around in dresses. You got men walking around in heels. I'm in Atlanta. The shit is fucking normal here. Like it's normal.
We know that.
But so again, the white Jesus thing, that's deep here in America. But go ahead and go back to Africa. I know you're overseas.
Can I just respond to that one time, though?
Go ahead.
Can I respond to that?
You gotta mute yourself. Go Black. You gotta mute yourself. You gotta mute yourself.
What's up? Thanks for having me there, Dynas, again, man. Hope all is well with each and every one of you brothers on the panel. Let me just say this right here, okay? Because I'm quite sure I probably got some years above majority of y'all on the panel. These topics are very familiar. I've had all these topics in my 30s, and they don't get anywhere. And I understand that you all, especially some that are on the panel, that as time goes on, you're going to have a total different perspective. I think it was TH was saying, responding to one of the panelists about, that was Tomas Kwesi, about sound like he has a blueprint that one could copy or, emulate. This is not a new thing for us coming to Africa. There are many of Black Americans here that's been here for 30, 40 years doing it. I just was in Israel and I did the videos. If some of you all haven't seen it, go see it. The community's been there since 1969. You want to talk about, they got factories, stores. It's a Black Wall Street that they have right there in Dimona, Israel. And then I show that, but see, there are those who are just too ignorant or don't, and I'm gonna be doing tours over there to show people. Here's a Black Wall Street. Here's an example. Here's a blueprint. This is something you can follow. This ain't nothing new. This ain't no movement that just happened. There are people here in Ghana, people in other countries who've been here for years and got factories. I did a video right here in Ghana the last time I was here. The Hebrew Israelites, they're the ones really who's doing a lot of work, leg work, and got factories and other things that they're doing internationally. But see, we want to go ahead and reinvent the wheel, waiting for a savior to come, waiting for somebody to start something that you don't even have a clue about. Because most of y'all, number one, ain't stepped a foot in the continent. Some of y'all ain't even traveled outside your country. Some of you all don't even have a clue of really what's going on outside of the economy of America.
Go back. Go black. Go black. 1 second. The back. I got a question for you. The back. Unmute yourself. Sorry, go back. I just gotta ask a question. You brought that.
Yeah,
up.
go ahead.
The back. Have you traveled to any countries in Africa? The back. I can't hear you.
No, sir. I have not traveled.
All right, okay. Makes sense.
But I have traveled to a majority black country.
Have you traveled to any countries in Africa? Okay, there we go. That answers that. Same thing with TH. All right,
we know THC admitted he hasn't been.
Oh, but my brother's been over there and told me stuff.
Okay,
also.
we're not talking.
So wait, hold on. Go black. I want to ask him a question. I want to ask you. See, this is what I'm talking about, right?
I didn't get the response to the trauma though. The trauma thing, because we're a minority over here.
No. Hold on. Let go. Go black has the floor. Go ahead. Go black. Go ahead. Go black.
Look, we have to get out of this going off what somebody told you or what you see. You need to do for self, y'all. You got to go check it out for yourself. I'm tired of hearing people talk about the Chinaman taking over. You heard that. The white man there in Africa, they controlling. The Lebanese, they this and that. And y'all haven't even been. They are a small minority. And if you really want to know the truth, Chinaman, they own a port in California. They own Chinatowns all over America. They have control of their stronghold in America as well. Look at 90% of the produce, the product that comes in America come from China. And then we want to act like you want to beat up Africa. You want to talk bad about Africa. You want to act like that it is like so taboo, but you haven't even been here. That's why I'm saying to the people who are watching, stop listening to these people. You need to follow people like Dynast, myself, and others who are on the ground, who are making moves, who are diversifying their portfolios, doing business abroad and all around other countries, instead of these people who are sitting on these panels ain't doing nothing.
Go black.
Yes. Africa, you made the comment. Africa, about white Jesus. Yeah, it's here in Africa. Did you see my video I just uploaded? Me teaching the black church and talking about white Jesus. I just uploaded it today. I'm doing something. I'm changing that narrative. Why? Because I'm not sitting around doing nothing and just having talk. It's about now walking the walk. You guys got to get off of this pedestal and stop throwing dirt down when you ain't doing the work.
They go back to Africa. I just want to push back. Can I just push back on one thing?
Do you own land in America?
Can I just push back? I never got to really address like why
hold
FBA.
on. It's my turn. It's my turn.
This is all I'm saying.
It's my turn. It's my turn. No, I'm saying most of you all don't do nothing in America. I kicked America in the ass with business and established myself in America. I decided to go move on to a place for my own good, for my betterment, for my spirituality, my wealth and my well-being, and my children and others. That's the impact that I'm doing. And while I'm here in Africa, yes, I'm changing the narrative. If you look at my videos, the changes that I'm doing, I'm not just talking. I didn't just talk when I was in America. Some of you are sitting here working a 9 to 5. You acting like you still working for your masters. Y'all not doing nothing. You ain't got no land. You own no property, and you acting as though that the rest of the world is so messed up, and you got all the answers.
I think this is what I meant. I just wanted to say about. I feel like we're getting mischaracterized, and this is why I say that. Whenever I bring up like the trauma, it was only as it's like a reaction to whenever people say like we're a minority over here in America. And if you look at the BET Awards, I'll be the first one to say that's horrible. I know what you guys all mean. But if you look online to just completely disregard the pushback from the grassroots and how a lot of we know that the puppets, they're gonna get looked like they represent us. But most Black people do not support that stuff. And so to act like that's just like how we are. And when I talked about white Jesus and the Chinese, what they were doing with the little kids over there, I just mean to say you won't be able to find foundational black. You want me to find a video of foundational black Americans having Chinese people having their kids say those type of things? Or when I said white Jesus, I just meant you won't be able to find video.
No, hold on, no, Trey, you got hold on, Trey, you got video. Like, there's a whole music industry here in America that's ran by white people.
Yes,
that white people are profiting and making billions of dollars. Black people are making pennies.
I'm saying the disrespect.
Trey, I'm not finished. Of black people bragging about killing and destroying other black people. A whole industry, billion-dollar industry. Then they had the BET Awards, which gave out awards to people who talked out, who spoke the most and bragged the most on how they destroyed their own communities.
But what's the response online from black people online? Not the people that get promoted by the white elite. What's the response from black people online?
Like, you see, but TH, this is your mistake.
Hold him up, gas him up. But TH, that Chinese man was arrested. He got arrested. Those white folks who tell black folks to make a CD on how they kill each other, they not getting arrested. Nothing is happening to them. In fact, they're making more money. To the point, listen, let me tell you something. So here in Atlanta, you got Young Thug, right? You got Young Thug who got locked up, RICO case, all right?
Big slime.
But I got you.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. To the point where record executives showed up to Young Thug's trial and was basically like, listen, judge, this Negro is making us a lot of money, pushing out this poison. Can he let him out? Because it's affecting our bottom line. So please let Young Thug out. Please let him out on bail. Because, you know, that music he makes about selling dope, snorting dope, and killing Negroes, that you affecting our bottom line. Please let him out. Please let him out.
This is my honest question about what you just said. When I always speak about a sector of foundational black society where we're trying to put this code in. We know the majority. We can talk generalization, but we're talking about the people who are tangible solutions. My question to you is, do you think that the people who I'm talking about, do we support that?
But TH, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, look, dude, you got to read it. No disrespect. You got to understand, first off, what is media? Media is, again, a way and a system that they use to distort information and to brainwash you. So the fact that you're saying, oh, well, the online presence, most Africans are not even engaged online because it's actually expensive. Okay, so now even foundational black Americans are not spending their days online, sitting down there having, these vigorous debates and discussions. No. And that's why I've always said when I come on these platforms, you got to take your message, whatever you're saying. Stop talking to immigrants. Yes, if immigrants are cool, call them out. But you got to take your message wherever you're from. I don't know where you're from. If you're in the South, go down there to Memphis, Tennessee. Stand on the corner where they kill Young Dolph and tell them boys to join your bandwagon. Come up here to Brooklyn. Go out there to East New York. Go out there to parts of the Bronx and tell them boys, follow me and be foundational black American. Go to St. Louis. Go to Compton. Go to where the behavior is bad and pass that message. And you know what's going to happen to you? I hope you have a vest. I'm just keeping it real, because the truth of the matter is you don't have control over your community. And the reason why you don't is not because you're inferior. It's not because you're not good or anything like that. It's because the truth of the matter is, for black people to have control of the community, you have to follow real order. There has to be a hierarchy. There has to be rules. There has to be regulations. That's why I've been saying, until you start removing blackness and come up with new identities to say, hey, listen, look, we may have the same skin color, but we are these people. So whether you want to be Hebrew Israelites or whatever, be that. This is who we are, and this is what we do. We're not associating with that. And the more you can do that, the less likely you'll have Young Thug represent your people in the community. Meg the Stallion, but a stallion is a male horse, but that's another conversation, represent your people in the community. And that's the fight. So it's easy to come on here and say, yo, the immigrants, or it's easy to come on here and say the code. No, that's easy. The real fight is going to get those people and getting them to do
I
it.
disagree with that approach because that sounds really great. I know what you mean, but you know where I disagree with that approach from the Claude Anderson perspective is, and just from what I would call being realistic with where we're at today, and we're banging for tangibles and reparations that are owed to us, right? And we're looking at it like it might be smarter to just those people that are lost.
You're saying that the issue is reparations?
Let me just finish.
No, wait, hold on. Wait, I just want to be clear. Want to be clear. Are you saying that the issue is not control of the community, but reparations?
What I'm going to get to that. What I mean is that I think that it would be a smarter approach for the like-minded, solution-focused, foundational Black Americans to link up with each other and campaign and try to get compensatory justice. And then that money, that economic repair would make the next generation the propensity, because most of that stuff is from economic despair and economic deprivation. That would make, if we got that, that would lower the likelihood of them doing that.
Gas them up. Hold on, gas them up. TH. The generation is already lost. Like the generation is gone.
That's too defeatist for me.
You talk about you waiting for a check to save a generation.
No, meaning if we get
maybe one more generation. I mean, it's this next generation coming up. It's
my question to you, Don, is do you think that if we were to get compensatory justice, say in the next 20, 30 years, would that not make
it's over? 20, 30
but that's
years
a defeatist attitude.
It's over. TH, it's over.
That's a defeat. I don't see. That's where we agree to disagree. I would say that we should do what Claude Anderson said, and then if we could build.
Did you watch the BET Awards? I want you to watch the BET. Hold on, TH, I'm not finished. I want you to watch the BET Awards from Donnie Simpson days back in the 80s and look at this shit now. And you talking about you waiting on, but TH, that's where we're at. Like
I feel like that's premature though. Honestly,
it ain't premature.
I look at it like I don't think FBA are gonna just die like next year. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying FBA is gonna just die out, but I'm saying the generation is gone.
I think that's an overgeneralization.
So Dynast, basically,
I think there's a lot of us that are quote unquote pushing this new tangible political agenda, and if we do that,
but you don't have the resources, TH.
So what you're saying?
I can't give up like
that. I'm gonna pass it to go back to Africa. TH, you guys were only able to give Marcel Dixon $200,000, and he got 2% of the vote. But
Dynast, you got to clarify what he's trying to say before you get to go back to Africa real quick. I just want to put it so make sure I'm not misquoting you, TH. So effectively, what you're saying is that the talented 10th, for the lack of a better term, of the FBA ADOS will effectively have to come together economically to create this new viable program that the rest of the community will follow. Am I saying that correctly?
To keep it simple, for like what I'm saying is, if you build it, they will come, and we would be able to take care of the next generation if we had the institution and the foundation.
TH, Black people had institutions, yet Black doctors still went with. Hold on, TH. No, you can agree with what you want to agree. I'm not convincing you at all. That's not my whole point. But Black people had institutions back then, right? And Black doctors went along with the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, did they not? Like you have Black people with wealth right now who don't.
Hold on, Gassim. I got another one. Black folks had institutions. Then, for some odd reason, in the '60s, Black folks said our institutions aren't good enough. Let's integrate into whiteness.
I'm saying, do you think that if we get it right now, it's over?
I got a question for TH.
Go ahead.
What are you actively involved in and doing for the foundational Black folks?
Honestly, I'm doing the Neely Fuller model, like independent compensatory code, where it's do your own thing. And like my family right now, we are the model personally. And if like pushing for the case, the compensatory case, we're trying to follow the Scott family, Mississippi. They didn't turn around and run. They didn't give up. They blamed white supremacy, and they got a $7 million check for what happened to their family in the 50s. So we're trying to follow that model with what happened to my my great grandmother-in-law.
So you're not trying to collectively, on a scale of what you're talking about. The only thing I'm hearing you saying is what we need to do. Pushing the don't vote campaign.
Pushing the don't vote campaign unless it's a tangible.
That's what you're doing.
That's all. Like Claude Anderson said, he said without reparations we're through, and I'm full in agreement with that. I think we need to just focus.
Dynasty, I'm gonna say this, and I gotta go. But look, listen, what TH is saying again, as an outsider, a tether, whatever it is, what you're saying to me is not gonna help you get what you want. And the reason why is this: Dynast goes to Africa, Go Black to Africa goes to Africa. Dynast is from a village. Nobody in Dynast village would say what you're saying. When you're from a community with rules, structures, and a hierarchy of leadership, this individual, no disrespect, what you're espousing, what's coming out of your lips, is pretty much white man, manifest destiny in the rugged individualism. This rugged individual is hold on. And so to me, that's not gonna get the so-called community that you're looking for. Community means communal, not individual. So if you go with this individual thing, hey, maybe you'll succeed, but I'm just saying it's much easier for them to attack black individuals than it is for them to attack black groups. And it's like, and the last thing I'll say is this: I find it always funny that every time this is brought up, to tell people like yourself, yo, start your own group, have rules and structures, copy the forget the Africans. You could copy the Hebrew or the Jewish community in America. You can copy the NOI. You have blueprints on how minority groups have power, they have organization, they have structure, which means these two fundamental things. That mentality of I ain't got to listen to nobody, I'm gonna just stay black and die, that has to be buried. The real code now would mean, yo, listen, if you on that corner, young man, you gonna have to deal with us. If you out there doing hot girl, summer young girl, you're gonna have to deal with us. Are you ready to put your life on the line for that?
Yo, this will let me know. Where our opinions differ, right? Because I've been banging the same scenario for a long time, and I keep using the Scott family in Mississippi as an example. I'm asking you, if they took your advice, do they get that $7 million? And then the same thing happened to multiple FBA families. Are you saying we shouldn't try
if
that?
They take my advice, let me tell you.
I'm not done. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. The Scott family in Mississippi, that same thing was done to so many foundational Black American families. Are you saying that we shouldn't try to follow that blueprint?
All I'm saying is black people in America definitely deserve reparations. But what I'm also saying is, if you take what I'm saying, hold on. If you hold on, let me finish. I'm gonna answer. I answered it already by saying, do whatever blueprint you want to do. Get that reparations, right? Get that check. Sir, slow down, sir. Slow down. Listen. But in lieu of that, in the meantime, while you're however you're gonna get that check, get it. And I'll be the first one to stand in line and scream as a tether, they need to get that. However, in lieu of that, knowing this country, you would have generated billions of dollars if you took my advice and had a hierarchy and rules and community with the businesses, because this brother just said the Hebrew Israelites, and I don't agree with a lot of this stuff, are building factories. So you would have created billions of dollars while you're trying to get the 7 million. I don't think you're seeing the forest for the trees. You're focused on this small check when I'm telling you, hold on, sir. You can do both. I said you can. But I think FBA and ADOS are focused on this little check, not understanding the real symbolic exchange of creating communal wealth. That communal wealth.
I told you my story. I told you my family story.
The communal wealth, the real communal wealth, which includes control and structure, the communal wealth will dwarf any reparations check on a symbolic level. Because now your kids will be productive in your society.
I see them both. And I hear a lot of negative energy that if the Scott family followed, they would have just gave up.
All right, so reparations is you talking about trillions of dollars, fam. What a handful of Hebrew Israelites do out over there, it will pale in comparison to what 40 million Black Americans over here is talking about. What one little group of family over there in Israel.
Real Monger, 40 million Black Americans, they talk about reparations. Right now, the majority
No, of course not. Not right now, but that would ultimately be the goal, though, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying,
but you have to fight, like what Gasmup was saying. But what I'm saying, okay, this is the point. The blueprint that the Hebrew Israelites had, the blueprint that the Nation of Islam had,
it's not a blueprint.
How's that not a blueprint? They gave
It's
they
natural.
laid the foundation for what to do.
Every community got their factories. Black Americans own plenty of factories. If you riding around an American car, your dashboard was built by a Black American. You understand what I'm saying? Let's not.
What are you talking about? What factories do Black Americans own?
Google it, my nigga. Like I can't educate
I'm
you.
Googling and I'm not a nigga. I'm not your nigga. I'm not your nigga. I'm Isoko. But go
It don't
ahead.
matter. You acting like you got no education, bro.
Show, Real Monger. That's why we have this show. We want you to educate us.
Okay,
That's
so simply put, Dodges, Chevys, the dashboard is built by a Black American man. He owns the factory. He has the contracts to make any American car the interiors. All right. This is plenty of. I could go get a whole list of stuff for that. I don't know his name. I'm just telling you off the top of my head. I could sit there and look it up for you. But you've had plenty of people come here and educate everybody on exactly what Black Americans is doing. So what the Hebrew Israelites is doing in Israel is great. Is what I'm saying. It's fine. But that's something that Black Americans is going to do naturally once they secure the funds. You understand what I'm saying? Reparations ain't about the middle class or the upper middle class or the wealthy, because the majority of Black Americans not poor. Reparations is about getting back generational wealth that was stolen. So whether if all Black Americans are rich or not, that's what reparations is for. This like Gas Stuff said, if Black American gets their reparations, he that's great for us and all that. That's fine. There's no either or. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have to not have factories because we shoot for reparations. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody could go get their credit up and get a business loan right now.
So what are you getting first? Are you getting the factories or the reparations? What's on the list first?
Saying do both. I think you're diminishing what the Scott family did when that's a key solution.
Oh my God!
I don't know nothing about. I don't know what's going on.
They can look it up. Google right now. So Google up the Great Land Robbery in Mississippi. If you don't want to hear it, then you just trying to undermine it.
Listen, I don't know.
I can tell Black Americans right now. Google Great Land Robbery, the Atlantic, right now, and you'll read their whole story. I'm telling you, that's the solution for foundational Black American families, and we keep undermining it.
Yeah, I missed all that.
Great Land Robbery. Google Great Land Robbery, the Atlantic, right now, and you'll read a whole story on what she did. She blamed white supremacy. She had the paperwork, and they had to write a check. And then the same thing happened to millions of Black American families. And I'm telling you, that's the solution, and we keep on undermining it. When Claude Anderson said we should focus on that.
No, of course, Black Americans is winning lawsuits every day. That's fine, but that ain't got nothing to do with reparations. Reparations is for everybody. Any individual family could go sue something for some reason. Like that.
Yeah,
that's
I agree. Yeah,
that's fine. But reparations is what we trying to do for the collective. That's for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on board with that. Yeah.
That was my point. So I'm not knocking what the Hebrew Israelites is doing, but just because Hebrew Israelites got a factory over there, don't mean we can't have factories over here. We got factories, cuz. Like
real Monger, you're missing the point. Okay, you're missing the point. The Hebrew Israelites, Nation of Islam, they control their communities. They control their people.
They don't control their communities.
Hebrew Israelites, they have their own community in Mona. I guarantee you there's a kid that's on, they do. I guarantee you there's a Hebrew Israelite that's standing on a corner in Demona selling dope, or if a girl is prostituting, there's checks and balances immediately.
Yeah, that's fine, but there's only been so much.
So-called Black American community, you can't do none of that.
Which Black American?
Women will come down to you.
What Black American community? Not everybody live in the
ghetto.
Point.
And listen, that's my point. So we don't have a community, and you guys talk about some reparations.
Hey, Dynast, I posted the link in the chat. And if you really care to want to know what we talk about solution based, that is the model for every foundational Black American family, on top of building your own stuff, working and campaigning for reparations for all of us. But this happened to so many families, and she has the model. I posted the link in the chat because I keep saying it. If you want to really educate the people, I posted it in the chat, and it's like you can click it.
Okay, we'll click it. Hey, go back to Africa. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I don't want to try to belittle anybody. Everybody has their space, their desires, their dreams, their goals. I mean, I'm not going to try to, rain on somebody's parade. If that's what you want to do, go get your reparations, go for it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, like I think it was Gassim Up said, hey, I'll be the first one in line too. They're going to be putting out some money. I'll fly right back over to America and get what's mine. But in the meantime, while we're sitting around waiting on that check, what are you doing? What are you doing with what you have supposedly or accomplished and all that? What are you doing? Because I don't believe
it's some of the fastest growing entrepreneurs in the country right now, bro.
What's that?
Black Americans are some of the fastest growing entrepreneurs right now in America, bro.
I never said they weren't. I never
So I mean,
said
it's
that.
not like Black Americans are sitting on their hands, bro.
I'm not saying. Look, I never said that. You must not have been on the show when I said I kicked America in the ass because I succeeded into the place where I wanted to be. Yes, you do. But when you're talking about this collective effort, everybody unite. Let's build cities. Let's build this right here. I do not believe that the system will allow that to happen. It has never.
No nation will.
That's why I say independent. That's why I focus on independence so much.
Civil rights. It demolished the Black Panthers. It demolished even just in fact just recently.
That's what Nelly Fuller said. That's why Nelly Fuller said that. That's why he said we need to not be groups because they killed the four wall theory that Black people think we need to be in a group. He said be independent and do your thing and then campaign.
I'm saying go to the place where you can find that you're able to succeed, like in Israel, like here in Africa. That
I'm succeeding right now. I'm succeeding in Florida right now.
Number one, the Hebrew Israelite city is like right next to a nuclear power plant. Like I did research.
Oh my God!
That's
you know, there's people like you, real monger.
They over there making them women infertile. They over there stopping them women from having babies.
Hold on 1 second. Real monk, hold on 1 second, bro. The Flint, Michigan. Fuck it. There's families in Mississippi living about the land is radioactive in Mississippi. So, I mean,
100%. I agree with you 100%. But don't act like Israel is some holy land for us, bro.
Let me say one thing. Let me say one thing.
Go back to Africa.
It's cool. I jump in. It's cool.
Talking about because see, they're right next to us. He said to a power plant. Do you know the average guy there has about 22, 24 kids? The average woman is pumping out about 10, 11 kids.
Of course they do that. That's their culture. And that's exactly why them white Jews over there
talking about the power plant. Women can't have babies. Women can't have this.
That's the same reason why white Jews trying to stop it
out the side of your neck. You're talking about stuff you don't know, young man.
I put the article up.
How about you go on my tour when I go and you check out and then say, wow, this is a Black community that has been well established.
I know hella Hebrew Israelites. I know hella Hebrew Israelites. The Hebrew Israelites I know right now talking about going back to Ghana.
After Q Butter, can you pull that link up after Q Butter?
No, hold on. Let's Q. Go ahead, Q Butter. We'll pull up in a second. Go ahead, Q
Butter. What's good, Dynast? Yo, I wanted to go back to the topic. That topic was bad, funny, and triggering, man. With the
hold on. Let me do this real quick.
Civil War. That shit was funny as hell.
Guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Share. Subscribe. Also, if you're interested in traveling with us in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, go to donfo.africa. Again, hit the like button. If you have not hit the like button, guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. All right, Q Butter, go ahead.
Smash the fucking like button, man. My son be really connecting the dots between Black. This is exactly what it is, though. People that's from foreign, people that's in America, connect the dots. Like, this shit be getting mad weird. I think people be mad egotistical and anything but African, anything that's Black. Like, you got Black Americans in America that don't want to work with Black Americans, and then you got Black Americans that don't want to work with Black Americans that want to leave America. It's like, come on, yo, pick a fucking side, being just work. Like, the man built up a community in another country, and he's from America. How much more fucking proof do you need? You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that we can't do it in America. I'm doing it in Brownsville. We connecting dots. Anytime I told the man, I'm like, yo, bro, we got to make sure we connecting dots. Anybody you got on the continent, connected with me, however we can make it work. And that's what it's about. Like, all this extra shit is corny to me. Like, the topic to me was dead funny, though. Like, whose side are you choosing if there was a civil war? That shit is funny to me.
It still haven't got an answer. I just got a bunch of Dynasty. You can't leave. If there's civil war, Dynasty, they ain't gonna let you out of the country.
Civil war between who? Civil war between who?
Okay, so real monger, the claim to fame or the claim to we's American, as much as American as white folks is, ADOS FBA fought in every single war from the American Revolution to Afghanistan. So if another civil war pops off, which I won't be surprised if there's one before, during our lifetime, because, all this, I don't know what a woman is, a man with a penis can identify as a woman, this weird stuff that you guys for some reason want to hold on to, which is freaking weird.
That's mischaracterization.
There's gonna be you got some people that ain't gonna go down with it. You had these folks who bombed on January 6th, who bum rushed the Capitol building.
So who fighting who?
Hold on, Ramon, I'm not done yet. You got some folks who, because they can't abort babies at will, free will anymore, who they starting stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, since FBA ADOS brags so much and talks about how they fought in every war, if there's another civil war, which side you guys fighting on? And I still have not got an answer. I just got a
If
bunch
there was
of,
an organ, it can't be that. It can't be that scat. It can't be that like, if there's a clear side, North versus South, or conservative versus Democrat, I personally will fight on whatever side the majority of Black Americans is on. Because in a war, I'm a veteran, by the way. When the shots is fired, at the end of the day, you're trying to protect life. You're gonna protect your people. Me, I'm concerned with Black people. You understand what I'm saying? But if you're saying it's some random, every man for themselves, guns is just blazing, it's no sides. Or Black people just gonna be dead.
No. Ramon, you find it. It's very clear that if there's a civil war, what's going to happen? There's only two sides. My question is, which side is FBA ADOS going to fight on?
That's a confusing question, bro. That's a really confusing
question, bro. It's very simple.
A civil war is not a simple.
What are the two sides? What are the two sides?
I think it will be a civil war between like the Democrats and Republicans.
That's my point. Is it a North or South?
Okay. So whose side you fighting on? Whose side you fighting on?
I'm gonna fight on whatever side Black people is fighting on.
I don't know. That's gonna be mixed.
I'm going maroon. I'm going maroon. I'm hiding out independent. I'm selling guns to both sides.
Because that's like saying, yo, if there was a civil war in Liberia, what side you fighting on? At the end of the day, the regular person ain't nothing but a body in the way. You understand what I'm saying? So there's always got to be clear defined military. So if there's no clear defined military,
real Mungo, let's be real though, God. Let's be real, son. Mad of our people gonna be fighting for Democrats, bro. Like, let's look. Come on, son. Democrats wore the dashikis last year and kneeled and shit. All them white folks was wearing dashikis and kneeling. They had our black feathers in a ruffle, B.
But here's the thing: you ain't have no choice.
Indian ass was black for like a month. Black women was all over the place, man. Black
you ain't gonna have no choice but to fight on the side of the Democrats. If that's where the majority of the Black people is at, you ain't gonna have no choice. What, you gonna fight against your people? What, you gonna fight? What you think the conservatives are gonna? Listen, Negro, let's keep them.
I'm out. I'm out.
Right,
I'm going to my other homes. I'm going to my other homes.
That's
out.
You, but you all 40 million Black Americans can't go nowhere. Even if we all have passports, you think somebody's gonna take us in?
I'm to the point now. That's a choice. I'm to the point now.
So if every Black American had a passport and was ready to go because a civil war was finna break out, what nation you think is finna take us in Africa when Nigerians won't even go get their own people up out of fucking Libya?
Mad nations in Africa, bro, like the whole West Coast, like Congo. Where you want to go, bro? You know,
they won't even take their own people. You got niggas sinking ships trying to leave.
Where you want to go?
Well, I go to South Africa. Wherever the asses is fattest at, I don't give a fuck. But my point is, who gonna take us in? Nobody's gonna take us in. Nobody's taking in 40 million refugees.
Oh God,
nobody's taking in 40 million refugees.
Yo, bro. Yo, bro, hold on, bro. You got put hold on. Well, as a Black American, we got to put respect, bro. We got bread. Besides all the ignorant shit we be doing, we got bread, resources, knowledge. We're pretty valuable to a lot of people once we wise up and get independent. Like, we got sports, we got fashion, we got music. We letting the world bootleg our shit and come up with versions of it versus connecting with them. So, like, nah, B, like,
I agree. It is not. We're not disagreeing, but it's common sense though. Like, even if we was in Liberia, you understand what I'm saying? And you talking about 40 million people, we would overpopulate like 50% of the nations in West Africa. Everybody can't go. Somebody got to turn around and fight. Somebody got to turn around and fight.
You know Madagascar. You know Madagascar is like a third of the size of America. Damn near. Yeah. You know that though, right? Like South Africa is. Like, you can fit a major portion of America in South Africa.
I guess he's saying, like, how are they going to take care of us if we just went to Madagascar right now? 40 million
you see to take care of us? Hold on. They're going to hate me for saying, yo, bro, they're going to hate us. Yo, if we going to say we built this country and all the shit part of America, we got to put some value on our necks, man. We're not going over there talking about what we got to bring. We don't know how to read. We can't build roads. We coming over there like, yo, boy, who wants us, man? We lit. We got
All right, so look, I hear what you're saying, right? And I agree 100%. But Black Americans have been saying that for decades. Only now countries like Ghana and I guess Sierra Leone, if you come with your papers right, will give you citizenship. But when you're talking about a war, like wartime is something totally different. With all that stuff you name with Black Americans, what you're saying basically is we better off staying put and taking care of ourselves versus going to some other nation that ain't equipped to deal with it. So if we got all this wealth and all this creativity and all this intelligence, we might as well dig in versus trying to move. You know how much people will die in transit alone? Yeah, I'm just being realistic.
Yo, bro,
now,
you talking about
if we trying to be
it is 2022, bro. Like people got boats, ships. It ain't that fucked up, bro. Private planes.
Yo, Diamonds, man. Like, just to keep it on, because you know I'm always on here saying the same story, bringing up the same Scott family. I put the link in the chat. So all I'm asking is like, if you, that's what I'm saying. You guys laugh at it, but I'm saying if you want real solutions and you undermine it, this is a real. Tyler, you said you're gonna pull it up.
I'm gonna sound like a broken
man. This is real solutions.
Hold on, Trey. This is what I want you to do, Trey. I want you to get.
You're not gonna pull it up.
Trey, I just Trey, because listen, we know the Scott family, we know Bruce's Beach. Trey, I want you to be a success story and go and get your reparations. You know, you said,
I'm saying, did you say you were gonna pull it up? No, bro.
Trey, hold on, Trey. You said your wife's family had land and farms or something that got taken away. What I want you to do, Trey, I want you to file. In fact, Trey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take an initiative, you and your wife, to go file your claim right now or this week. Show proof of it. You're going through the process, and I will back you 155,000% right here.
I get what you're saying.
But
my thing, what I was saying,
I know about the Scott family. I know about Bruce's Beach.
He hasn't started.
I get it, bro.
I meant as far as to like we have a platform to give the people a blueprint.
Listen. From what you're saying, your wife went through something similar as the Scott family. So I'm saying, dude, go handle your business. I got your back. I'm not being disingenuous. I'm dead serious.
But I'm just wondering why you wouldn't pull that up though.
Pull it up for what? We know
so that people can see, because you guys are gonna laugh like it's like not real and it's a real solution for happening to millions of black families.
We believe you, Trey. We believe you. But what I'm saying
what are you doing?
I want you like go back to Africa. What are you doing? I want you.
I'm promoting the message that if we all do it, there's strength in numbers. There's strength in numbers, and you guys just laugh it off. If we all start campaign, why would Claudine say we need a nationwide campaign?
Okay, Trey, you said an individual family, the Scott family, got their reparations.
No, just they got compensation. That's a different thing from reparations.
So Trey, this is what I want you to do. Okay, compensation. So Trey, you said that your wife's family went through something different, something similar. I'm sorry, something similar. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so Trey, I want you and your wife to go get your compensation. All right.
I guess what I'm saying to you, my question to you is, do you see, the only reason I'm pushing it so hard is I'm just saying, do you see the power in if other black people got enlightened to the blueprint?
Yes, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So I want you to be the lead and set it off, Trey.
Yo, bro, we have the blueprint. I love you, bro. Hold on, that blueprint, when we talk about blueprints, brother, I love you. This goes out to all the elders. If your blueprint comes with a PayPal account, fuck your blueprint. No offense to Claude Anderson, but it's 2022.
I'm talking about route they took to get their compensation.
I know, but when we keep talking about the blueprint, because I just typed in, I fuck whatever on my elk, but we gotta put a respect. Like, bro, literally, when you telling people to go to the blueprint solution pack is $67.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. Q Butter, do you see the private chat right now?
I'm suing for land that was wrongly taken for you in the 1900s, early 1900s.
I'm saying, do you see the link I put in the chat? That's what I meant by the blueprint. That's not something that costs money. I'm asking you,
I read that. Why aren't you doing it, TH?
We're working on it right now.
Okay.
We literally just found out.
Giannis challenged you that you provide proof that you have started an initiative with this. You will be backed.
I'm just wondering what is the pushback to showing the whole public right now?
My God, Trey.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying, like, hey, what you want from me, I can show you from them right now.
Trey, I got your back, bro. I got your back. I want you, and your wife to file your guys' claim, and I'll promise you, I'm not being disingenuous. I got your back. All right.
I'll interview you too, and put you
Yeah,
on so to
Trey.
spread the word.
Trey. Listen, go back to Africa. He got more subscribers than me. He got like a one.
I guess what I'm saying to go back to Africa is if you really solution based, why wouldn't you put their story, which is already the blueprint, on your channel for everybody else?
Trey,
You know how many stories I've put out there, TH?
I'm talking about something for like what I'm saying for FBA families specifically that happened to so many of us.
Because I'm trying to motivate people of what's going on right now, and people who are aggressively making their way right now, not sitting around.
Okay, I get it. We can just say you don't want to show that example. Just say you don't want to show that example.
I've shown many of stories like that. Look through my videos. You are living and alive right now. Why don't you go ahead and be the forerunner and showing people you started this initiative, and you're going to show people they can do this? Why can't you do that?
Because I'm watching that we argue for 5 minutes when we could have already had the showrunner and the front runner already example listed.
The last time Dynast, man, went through and read this whole thing that y'all.
No, that's not that wasn't me. That was not on some. I did not say that they got land back, bro. That was that yoga dude.
Yes, you did, because I
said Brown University vouched for that dude's lineage. That's all I said.
I replayed that video, and
I know, okay, bro. If you're in the chat, just Google Great Land Robbery, the Atlantic. Great Land Robbery, the Atlantic. And that's not some big. You have the energy you guys bring to it is like a weird energy, bro. And we can sense it.
You know what? I
really want to see it.
Yo, brother, I'll say they respect. I'll say it's the presentation of it. Sometimes I hear like on platforms, a lot of us brothers get together and we want other people to embody our view of the solution. And it's like he's doing a form of the solution. Dynast is doing a form of the solution. I have my own solution. You have one. We bring it together, and then we focus on networking our solutions together.
I'll validate and support theirs with no weird energy. But when I bring up like something the FBA family did, you hear how weird the energy gets about like showing that solution.
It's a difference in the conversation. You see what I mean? Now, if the person that you brought up, right, if they was here and presented the same thing, they will be saying like, look, I focus on getting people land back. This is the way I do it. And then that would be their platform. What he's telling you is focus on developing your platform so we as men can sit together with different forms and different faculties and come together as a conglomerate and push forward. We're not all saying you got to do this one thing, we got to do this one thing. It's like, nah, all work together. So he's not telling you, he just told you once you do it, he's going to promote you.
Yeah, I never said we can't do multiple things. I was just saying like if a family already has the example and it's like been put out in publication, then we could enlighten like people with these platforms to see it.
But Trey, once you go do it, bro, I'm just saying, go.
I'm just saying they already did it, and then other people can like it can help other people.
But Trey, you just sat here and said that your family went through a similar situation. So what are you waiting on? Like listen, if it was my family and I had the proof and I saw this, I would have been making moves right now as we speak.
Yeah, I know it's work. It's definitely a tedious, like it's a lot of work. We just found out from like the obituaries and everything in her family, the whole nine. So it is tedious.
How long ago did you find out? How long ago did you?
Honestly, I swear, like probably like 3 weeks ago. We've just been getting on this genealogy stuff.
So what have you? There's a lot you can do in 3 weeks. What you got, Trey? Cam up, show us what you got.
Though honestly, it's just I've been talking to her about trying to even get more information from her grandfather, who they say they probably like the average ADOS Black American, they over it. Am I right? They just like, we locked that land. All right, I understand, man. I get it.
I know you might hate me for this statement, bro, but niggas get robbed every day, B.
All right, okay. This is pretty defeatist. This is defeatist energy, man.
No, what you're saying is I'm gonna go complain to the person that robbed me to get my stuff back. Please give me my stuff back. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like you get robbed.
I'm just saying a family did it. That's FBA, and they say it happened to millions of other families, and a lot of us don't even know about it.
I definitely understand, but what we're also looking at is saying push forward, build now.
Like it seems like I don't like that. I feel like other Black people are trying to further obscure something that's already obscure.
Nobody's trying to obscure. Nobody just want to build. Honestly, I just wanted to hear the conversation and connect. Like, I built this institute in Brownsville, Brooklyn.
No, I mean,
My
you're right.
bread
You're
and
right. I know
community
what you
bread.
mean about like me trying to push my one solution so hard, but I get you, man. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna get off the platform. No, I'm gonna fall back, but I know what you mean though, as far as like get on it.
But Trey, we'll talk. Keep us posted on getting what your wife, what her family lost. Keep us posted on the progress on getting that back. I'm
All
dead
right, I
serious.
got you. No, I know what you mean. I know y'all ain't like fully just out here undermining black people, nothing like that. So I don't want to like get mischaracterized like doing that. So support to y'all. You got a great solution. Go back to Africa. Dynast, your platform is great. Q Buddy, you were saying great things, but that's all I was pushing was like highlight this example too that a lot of families could learn from.
Right. Okay. So Trey, listen, do your thing, brother, and get back to us. We got you. I got you.
All right.
Okay, for sure. U.S. lawyer, go ahead, U.S. lawyer. U.S. lawyer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record. I've said this before, but I think what we all have to do is we have to develop a global nation. And when I say that we're Pan-Africans, meaning Pan means all Africans, and we have to be the first group of humans that don't have a geographical nation. We have a global nation with a global constitution. Everybody can have their own individual parts, but we're going to have to be organized a little better, and we're going to have a global set of principles that we operate from, and a global code of conduct. I know I've said this before. I think some of you brothers like Dynast and Go Back, and myself, who spent a lot of time in Africa, some of us are going to have to step up and be the founders. And we're going to have to bypass this whole thing where most of the time, like in America, they had a constitution, but it was tied to a particular piece of land, or most countries have a constitution, or the European Union has a constitution that's tied to a land mass. We're going to have to become the first group of people that have a global constitution that is tied to not a particular landmass, but to a particular set of principles. And it doesn't matter what tribe you come from, it doesn't matter what your ethnic, background is, but these overriding principles is what everybody adheres to. And a lot of this organization is going to have to be hidden. It's going to have to be covert, because they're going to be just like you have certain parts of all the European Union, and you have all these other places. They meet in secret and they make a global strategy, and that's how they operate. 10 men.
What's the purpose of this organization you're talking about, bro?
It's a global nation. In other words, and what it is to do is promote geopolitical and promote, if you want to get real, is promote kind of a global dominance and global prosperity, because the world is global. Resources are global.
All right, so a global
all
nation,
the power
right?
is held globally. Correct.
All right, so a global nation, right, with global influence and global and all that. How do you plan on getting this this global nation recognized by the UN?
Well, that's not the immediate. I mean, that's not the immediate issue. The immediate issue is not to have it recognized by anybody. The immediate issue is to build a power base that you can function by, and
So
that you can pull resources. Let me tell you what it is. So you can pull resources. You can pull resources and organize your talents in such a way that you accomplish the goals. You don't necessarily, and eventually, at some point, when you develop enough sales all over in the different locations, at some point your power become apparent. But initially, you don't want to have that power become apparent because
let me not to interrupt what you're saying, bro. But this is kind of why I fell back from the Pan-African ship, because like everything niggas be talking about just be some.
I'm not a nigga. I don't know who you're talking about.
Whatever, people, brothers, black man, soul brothers.
I'm just saying. I'm not your nigga.
I feel you, bro. But
don't come in with the nigga talk.
Don't get off the point. But my point is
that is the point. Don't come in with the nigga talk.
All right, you feel better? You got your point.
No. So, don't come with the nigga talk. I don't deal with niggas.
African. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying my point is, I can't deal with people with these fairy tale cockamamie schemes talking about we need some global institution to make some global Skynet.
I know you can't deal with them. That's fine. Then you can just be quiet. We're not talking to you. Listen, I'm not talking to you then. Listen, that's fine. If you can't deal with it, I wasn't addressing you. If you can't deal with it, fall back and be quiet. I'm just making suggestions.
I'm just saying
we don't need people like you can't deal with it, because you will never be part of anything, because you're not. So just be quiet.
Yeah, but hold on, Michael, just get ready in the fight on the side of the Democrats. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I mean,
that's fine.
All I'm saying is this is what we have. This is what we have to start focusing on, because 10 men organized will always beat 100 men disorganized. And at some point, we're going to have to transcend this. We may have to be the first generation of humans who actually form a global nation that's not tied to land. And that's what I'll leave that at. And like I said, I've written up a basic constitution. I've got a site called theafricanunion.com. For those who are interested, go there. Eventually, we'll put it together. For the naysayers, don't go there because we don't want that energy anyways. That's all I'm going to say, you brothers. You have a good day.
Yo, can I real quick before you leave yours, Lawyer? I would suggest, right, to me, the nation word is a little old school. And I know people may not like me for saying this, but corporate personhood gives you everything.
I don't want a corporate personhood. We want nations.
I understand.
You don't want a nation either. It's not tied to land. You don't want a nation either.
Let me just.
A nation is.
Can I just finish my response real quick? And then
go ahead.
I was just it was a dope suggestion. I was saying that as a corporation, you immediately do what you're saying. So you don't
immediately do that.
Let me finish it. Right? You get to create your own bylaws. You create your own constitution. You have your own code of conduct. You have your rules in which you can administer to kick people out. You can buy and privatize.
That's what nations do. That's why they have a code of conduct.
I understand what you're. That's why I said. I understand.
Can I just finish the whole? Corporations are not sovereign.
Yours, Lord, let the brother finish, please. I want to hear him. Go ahead.
B. In 2022, right? Corporate personhood is the new form of nationhood. The privatization, the connections between copyrights, patents, and the holdings and the stakeholders and the contributions, and again, the ability to privatize across any border is business now. So I'm agreeing with you. I think the way in which we can look at it is business. Like we black folks should codify ourselves around business, as a means of. And I'm agreeing with. I'm just hearing it in a different way. Like, damn, I drop my laptop.
Okay, brother. I'm gonna say that if you can classify whatever, that's the way it makes you feel. And I mean, I'm not in any way denigrating what you're saying. Okay, with the way you want to perceive it, that's fine. But even corporations still all have codes of conduct and some other things and rules and principles that they operate in. The difference with a corporation is the whole purpose of a corporation, and I guess in a sense, the purpose of a nation is supposed to be prosperity for the people, and the objective of a corporation is supposed to be to generate profits for the corporation. That's supposed to be profits for the shareholders, and in a sense, a nation, the citizens are the shareholders. So
exactly.
So I can understand what you're saying, but I think my thing is nationhood, because I would say that a nation involves the concept of nations are supposed to be sovereign. Corporations are something that are although I will admit some corporations these days are controlling some nations. Okay, but corporations themselves aren't necessarily sovereign. I mean,
technically, it was crazy. I don't want to turn into the abortion shit, but the 14th Amendment gives nations sovereignty, gives corporations sovereignty. That's a fact.
Well, it doesn't give them sovereignty, because why? Sovereignty means the reason why it's not sovereign is because a government can in any time revoke their charter. So
only if you do the same thing with a person. A government can remove the charter on an infant. Now, that's what literally what just happened. The 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was reapplied to fetuses. The government can do that.
All they simply said with this last ruling was that, which is true, is that the Constitution does not protect abortion, and because it's not in the Constitution.
No, it's not just that. The 14th Amendment specifically is what determines a person in America.
No, 14th Amendment talks about having due process.
No, it doesn't, brother. The 14th Amendment.
I'm sitting. I guess you know better than me. I'm sitting here writing appellate briefs as we speak. So
that's cool, but literally, the 14th Amendment is what.
Hello, gentlemen.
No, it doesn't. The 14th Amendment doesn't do that. I can tell you that.
All right, guys. So we got Go ahead, Yed.
I thought I was here before him.
Oh goddamn!
Dynast, real quick, Dynast. Look, Dynast, the 14th
come on, man.
all persons born or naturalized in the United States.
Come on, let's be cordial
The
here.
14th Amendment was made to give black slaves citizenship.
One mic. Go ahead, Q Butter.
The 14th Amendment, all persons born or naturalized in the United States, all citizens, and it also is what gives corporate personhood its power. It is also what has just been re-administered to fetuses.
No,
Specifically,
you don't understand what that opinion was about. And I can't explain it to you because you don't have any legal training.
Can't explain it.
You don't know. You don't, brother. You don't even have your camera on or any history publicly to show me your legal training, because I can show you mine.
Okay, well, I can. Well, I'll tell you what I want to. I'll tell you what I do then. I will show you.
Literally, we can Google.
Degree.
I don't need none of that stuff, bro.
I don't. All I need
I'll
show your Juris Doctor degree.
Look,
and if I don't have them,
look. Unborn children as constitutional persons.
How's that?
Look. National Library of Medicine. Unborn children as constitutional persons.
That's the National Library of Medicine. That's not a law. That's not illegal.
Brother. Look. The language meaning of the 14th Amendment to which Justice Harry Blackman responded. They're all talking about the 14th Amendment. It's the same thing that gives corporations. You don't clearly know. Clearly, you got a master's degree, but you didn't pass the bar. Clearly, you didn't pass the bar. Where is your law office located, sir? Where is your law office located, sir?
You know, a nation gotta have a defined territory, bro.
Where is your law office located, sir?
That's all I'll tell you.
Where is your law office located? I would like to hire you. What kind of law do you practice?
You can't afford.
Where do you practice law? Where do you practice law? You don't, brother. We can show badge.
But I tell you what I will do.
Where's your office located? Where is your office located? I don't want to see your credentials, bro. I'm a New Yorker. Where is your office located?
You're not coming to my office and you ain't got.
Where is your office? Where is your office? Look. We professionals, bro. If I can't, where's your YouTube address? Where's your YouTube law attorney address?
A YouTuber.
Is anybody hiring an office? Anybody hiring a lawyer with no office? Come on, bro. Anybody can put that up there, B.
I'll tell you something. Because
at the end of the day, all I do is read it from the law.
Brother, you don't understand how this
know
works.
what? You won. You got it. You won.
I'm gonna explain something to you, brother.
You won. You got it. I'm wrong. I am so sorry, Dynast. You got it. You done.
I'm not going to be on here because I may be putting out some controversial.
You're right. I'm sorry. Look, brother. I am sorry. I offended you.
My money.
I'm sorry. I offended you.
Hold on, U.S. lawyer. Somebody, can you give us your bar? So I'm a real estate agent. I have no problem people having my real estate license number, or I do help.
I'll do that to you in private.
Okay. So can you? Somebody's made a great point. Can you have you have a bar number? Somebody say give us your bar number.
Yeah, I give them my bar number, but I do that for you in private. For you in private, I'll do it.
What else? Where office is that? What office? What form of law do you practice? What type of law do you practice?
Email address.
What type of law do you practice, bro? What type of law do you practice?
You know what? They call me a dinosaur because I've practiced pretty much everything. I've done wrongful death. Right now, I'm doing. I've done criminal law. I've done medical malpractice. I've done personal injury. Matter of fact,
your law office, you can go there and get it. I can hire you to do anything.
But I'm gonna tell you what I do primarily right now is I work with other lawyers who have difficult cases to help them resolve them.
All right, yeah, we gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
You're paralegal. We call that a paralegal in New York.
With lawyers who have different.
You're a paralegal.
Don't have a Juris Doctor degree.
Okay.
Paralegals don't pass the bar.
Go ahead, Nigel.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Can you just wait, Mr. Lawyer? Come on, chill out. I think this question is an interesting question because I've had some white supremacists talk about how they might consider a civil war in the US. People may be answering this question sooner than they think. Personally, I'm one of those people that will be like, I don't care about taking sides. That's apart from the sides that gives African Americans control of nukes and ballistic missiles. If you are going to give them control of those things, I will fight on your side. And I think that is the wise way to go, because anybody that tells you fought for their side before, what did he do for you? They're like, oh yeah, you're one of us, but still just go back again into Jim Crow and all that nonsense. So until the side that is going to give you something that is going to actually change your situation, then don't take sides. Mind your business and stand on the sideline. Let them fight it out. Thank you. I don't want to prolong it. It's just simple, really.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, yeah. Go ahead, yeah. Unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead. All right, yeah. You go on once, going twice.
Yeah, hi Dynas, and hi to Niger, US lawyer, Q Butter, Real Monger. I came up because I was listening to US lawyer and what he was talking about a global kind of nation. Well, actually, if you look at it, right, the African Americans are the only group of Black people that are not in an international institution with the African continent. There is an institution called the African, Caribbean, and Pacific Islander Institution. It's an organization. And practically, Caribbean countries, CARICOM countries are in, and Pacific Islander countries. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement area was launched 1st of January. It became active 1st of January 2021. And by September 2021, the African Union had its first ever virtual meeting with CARICOM. So that means they spoke about creating this trade, removing barriers, and things of that nature. Then you have BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Brazil Afro-Latinos, I'm sure you're all well aware, are the largest group of Black people outside of in the diaspora, outside of the African continent. So that means we virtually could say that every single ethnic nationality kingdom outside of the African continent is in one kind of organization or institution apart from African ADOS, or Foundational Black Americans. So what US lawyer is saying is something that is already being done. We are 90% there, but just 40 million, or say 50 million Black people in the USA have not joined the rest of, you could as well say the field Negroes. And so that is just a little part that is missing at this point. So what US lawyer is saying is already being implemented, and that's just the fact. With that, I yield the mic. And with regards to the topic, sorry, before I go, with regards to the topic, I agree with you, Niger. If you're not having any tangibles, there's no point of you siding in any part of, any type of conflict. And obviously, you guys heard by the G7 for those foundational Black Americans and ADOS, apart from, sending, was it 20 billion US dollars to Ukraine of reparations money. Recently, in the G7 meeting on Monday, Mr. President Joe Biden announced they're going to be sending 200 billion US dollars for some global, as their contribution to a 600 billion global infrastructure project. So that is $200 billion of private and public funding. So that's the reparations money just going around the world once again. So with that, I yield the mic, and thank you all for listening.
No problem. Bob, go ahead, Bob J. Unmute yourself, Bob J. Bob J.
Yeah, he hear me?
Hear you just fine. Oh, you muted yourself.
Okay, my computer kind of slow. All right, but yeah, I appreciate hearing that from the African brother. But yeah, man, we got to get some type of system to where we can get citizenship. I wish I had 1% of Sierra Leone DNA so I could go ahead and get my citizenship. But I definitely am fighting with the FBAs, and they are just throwing away our money. Like, they just throwing away funding and saying that they can't give us anything. But meanwhile, they don't even, you didn't even mention the Afghanis. And then I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we have a huge Burmese population. The Burmese refugees come to Fort Wayne, they get free apartment for 2 years, no payment, and they do so much foul stuff to the apartment buildings, from killing people's dogs and butchering them inside the apartments and things of that nature. And then the government also gives them grants or what, I don't know. They getting money because a couple of them got Hellcats, and they just got here.
Whoa, Bob J. Are you saying that Burmese are riding clean?
Listen.
Hold on, Bob J. Are you saying the Burmese are riding clean? The Hellcat 20-inch rims, loud ass pipes on FBA ADOS reparations money?
And they smoking loud. Listen to Future.
Clean. Hey, you say they pulling up to the red light, FBA ADOS, they Accord. Burmese pull up and they roll.
Correct. That's exactly what they're doing. It's crazy. If you've seen it, if you ever.
But Bob J, these are the same people who say, "Man, we didn't fought in every war since the American Revolution. We fought. We didn't fight. Our bones are buried in here in America." But you say Burmese pulling up, red light, challenges, charges,
Hellcats, bro. They got scat packs, bro. They got the premium cars, bro. No, not even lying to you.
On ADOS FBA reparations.
So I mean,
here's the thing. My definition of ADOS FBA, but it's just this shit is. I mean,
it's crazy.
You can't do nothing but. Here comes Milton Real Mom. I'm gonna bring Real Mom. Hold on, here he comes. Man, they riding clean like that.
Clean, bro.
Off the reparations money.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So they riding clean. They doing their thing, and it's like they'll literally, as soon as they be there for a little bit, they'll get to start talking. Yeah, I don't know why black people not doing too good. I mean, what's going on? It'd be like, because some of them date black women, and because they got money, so the black women they trying to get checked. So how they talk is ridiculous. It'd be like, bro, you got $150,000 when you came here, and a free apartment you ain't have to pay for 2 years.
Hold on, stop the show. You saying they got 150 racks?
Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir.
Woo! Free apartment.
Free apartment. They take over apartment complexes.
And listen. We can't even give Marcel Dixon $200,000, but we swear up and down that we gonna bum rush the White House and they gonna give him a reparation.
I mean, no, man. I mean, listen. Well, it's one thing I can say, man. If I could get citizenship over in Africa, because I do stuff on via my phone and things like that. So I would definitely want to live in Africa, but I'm not a Sierra Leonean, and that's like the only country that's gonna give you citizenship if you can prove that you got blood lineage there.
Bob, let me ask you this: which countries have you visited on the continent so far?
Ghana and Benin.
Okay, what was I gonna say? See, this is the thing. All right, the amount of energy that we spend on these pipe dreams, okay, the amount of energy that we put towards Roe versus Wade and our destruction, I promise you, if we would just put a third of that, a quarter of that into building bridges with Africa, all that can happen. So for Sierra Leone to get our Sierra Leone citizenship, African ancestry, one organization, made that happen. One organization, one business, one corporation, one organization built that bridge, made it happen. One company. All right. Just imagine if we get like a quarter of us to do it, to get in line and build those bridges, what we can do. But I mean, people just, again, the bones are buried here in America. So I don't know. But go ahead, Bob J.
Can I ask Bob J?
Go ahead, bro.
What are you doing now for Black Americans?
Well, I'm at the I'm at the McMillan Community Center, at the youth center, helping kids. That's what I do.
McMillan. I know that spot. That's in Cincinnati?
No, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Indiana. Ah, yeah, I thought they got something like that in Cincinnati too.
Yeah, man. It's always great. It's one of the people that I helped develop playing back. I mean, I ain't gonna say I helped her playing. I trained her coming up. Her name's Yana Patterson. She can dunk it. She can do windmills. She going to UConn this year. So yeah, man. And Sydney Curry, that's my boy. The boy used to come to my house every day.
So that's your lane. So that's your lane right there. So that's the niche that I will walk into with a conversation. Because anytime I talk to people about what I do, I'm offered citizenship and help to get citizenship. Now, nobody ever asked me about my nothing from Ghana, Sierra Leone to Nigeria to freaking Uganda. People be like, yo, Q, I got you. Don't worry about that, because they know I bring something to the table. So like the fact that you can train basketball players to be great, that's the lane that you talk about. You see what I mean? So when you connect over there in the continent, call up the schools that's providing basketball service. Like, look, I'm a basketball trainer. This is what I'm bringing to the table. And watch how the conversation switches.
Now, I mean, I'm not saying that would not work, but that, to be honest with you, bro, what needs to be done is exactly what you saying, but they want to, like how you saying, they want to see you actually pushing that out and doing it and putting forward, like how Dynast was actually going to Nigeria and all these different countries. They seen he was doing that, so they would, like how you said, they were more willing to work with him. But the thing about basketball training, you know what I'm saying, especially in Africa, you know what I'm saying, I would want to get like a sponsor, because like a lot of them dudes ain't gonna be able to pay for training. How
Bob,
really
can I say something? Do you know that the national basketball team of Nigeria's coach is actually a foundational Black American?
Yes,
in fact, yeah. Hold on one second. Hold on. Yeah, I'll one up that. The person who pretty much introduced basketball to Nigeria was an African American. In fact, the GM of the Toronto Raptors, I can't think of his name. He's a Nigerian. I can't think of his name. The GM for the Toronto Raptors. His mentor, who pretty much, for the most part, went to Nigeria, who was a Black American, went to Nigeria and really established like the development program, was a Black American.
Yeah, it's not that hard to, like, the restrictions and the cost level is different.
Key Butter, 1 second. Currently, Bob J, it's a foundational Black American and ADOS that is the national coach of the national basketball team of America. That's why we beat the United States of America last year in basketball, if you can recall.
I mean, I think that was more so them dudes was probably drunk the night before or something like that.
It don't matter. It's a win.
Come on, give us some credit.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Talking about going to train.
Bob J, do you have a website?
The African
no, sir.
And you're giving excuses.
Yo, Bob J. So if you
they definitely did.
Yo, Bob J. Here's a jewel. If you go on Wix, right?
Yes, sir.
Create a Gmail account with your basketball service. Then go on Wix and sign up for Wix, right? Then wait 3 days. And they're gonna offer you 50% off. Your website for the first year or 2 years will only cost you $80 for the year if you choose the unlimited one. Okay. Boom, right then and there. Go make some video clips. You training people, get some testimonials, then put down the services that you can teach people to do the skill sets. Boom, 1, 2, 3. That's that. You can have that done by Thursday. What day is it? By Friday, Saturday.
No, salute, for sure. But yeah, man. I mean, that's what I want to do when I'm in Africa, as far as that, because one thing I noticed about Africa, they have extremely tremendous amount of talent, but they push. It's not a bad thing, but a lot of the older people push them in education and don't have them believe, like how maybe a foundational Black American would, like if you look at the African fighters that came over to America, the Zuma Nelsons, the Mugabes, the Kasim Umas, they came and they learned the style, and they actually became great. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I want to do and help Africa, because they had a talent. No, like how they definitely had a talent, bro, for sure. That's not a argument here. One of the places is Rwanda I want to look at, though, for basketball.
Yeah, did anyone see what happened on the continent yesterday with the Africans being killed in the Moroccan distant border? And these are the kind of things that make me worry about why our people don't prioritize the important things. They just they are lying on the ground. They are still being handcuffed, kicked, and stuff like that. And this is something our leaders see, and we don't seem to have any shame with our people being treated. And no other group gets treated like the way we get treated, and we just accept it. And this is why I keep saying the time for playing baby games is over. We have to start dealing on real stuff. All these silly arrangements we have, silly agreements we have, doesn't do us any good. I put it out there right now. Any organization or any country that wants to work with Africans that want to say, okay, you want to work with us, but you have to deal with us on an equal basis, where you share technology with us, share defense technologies with us, and we also go out and learn these things. I don't know whether somebody needs to force us not to learn it. We should go out and learn what other people have learned decades ago, centuries ago. We just sit there and allow the world to just carry on without us. I don't get it. And this is why this question today for me is a no-brainer. I'm not going to take any sides until you give me something that will make me so that after this war, I can stand on my own.
Yeah, but you're not FBA ADOS, brother. Like, you know.
Yeah, but why should you take sides? It's not your fight, because they're all going to come after you anyway after the war is ended.
They're FBA ADOS. They're as American as they're as American as apple pie. So this is their land. So they gotta fight for it.
Fight for it. That's why you need to own the ballistic missiles too and the nukes too. What is the point of being your land when you don't control anything that is in so-called your land? That is the point. If you want to own the land, good. Give me a nuclear submarine. Give me one of the nuclear silos so that I control it while you keep the majority. Just give me some, so that I'll actually believe I'm one of you. And if you trust me, and then I should trust you too. It has to be on an equal basis. This thing where we have these side deals that doesn't get us anywhere. We've been doing it for too long.
City. Give me an entire port city so I can share.
Yeah, with all those these technologies. Because we have been in this country, for a very long time. You have the foundational this thing, Black Americans, as you call it. Why should you not deserve the right to control such technology if you are going to take any side? Believe me, this question may not be as rhetorical as we think. There's a lot of issues that could result in that situation occurring in the near future than people think in that country, because the demographics is changing significantly, and I've never seen any demographics in history that has done this peacefully. There's not been a demographic change where a majority becomes a minority peacefully. That's what America is going through right now. That's why I think this question may not be as rhetorical as we think. And our people are getting slaughtered all over the world. We see African Americans like George Floyd getting killed. Nothing happens on behalf of that. Why? Because of weakness.
But it's also not that bad though. It's also not that bad though, bro. If Black Americans, there's mad of us connecting with not in Africa. Like they paint a lot of pictures that's just purely negative, but there's a whole other side that we're doing a lot that's building. Like if we want to choose.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I said if we want to choose to focus on the negative, we could do that. But there's mad people that's connecting all over the continent and in America that's pushing. And that's why when the brother was talking about nationhood, I'm like, nationhood to me personally on a business level is kind of old school. It's business. Like we talking business. What are we doing? Like
right now, that dude didn't know what he's talking about. But not to cut you off, bro. I just want to ask Two Niger. You said that it's rhetorical because Black Americans basically America.
Are you like on speakerphone or are you?
Yeah, I'm on my phone. You can hear my AC. You want me? I can swap mics real quick. Let me try to do something.
Yeah,
hold
it's
on.
like a lot of background noise.
Yeah, he thought I said it was rhetorical. I actually said it may not be as rhetorical as we think. This question, that question, you may have to pick a side soon if the situation arises to a point. And I think that when that time comes, You have to make the most of it. You have to decide that, okay, this is the time we will never go back anymore. This is what we want. And it has to be something that gives you strategic control of your destiny in that country. You deserve it. You've been there for 100 years. Why shouldn't you have it? It's just ridiculous.
How's my mic sound? It still sound bad?
It's still there.
It's still messed up, bro.
All right, let me try. All right, hold on.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Lozy.
Okay, thanks, brother Dynasty, and greetings to everybody on the panel. Oh, look, Dynasty, I must give you credit. You have got a very brilliant way of coming up with these interesting titles. I really, really like this topic, and I thought I should add on it because there's also something very interesting that I've observed in South Africa that has took place in the past 2 years. But I'll start with the FBA, which I mean, America is too powerful. You know, I don't think FBA have got much power to decide if America goes at war, like what we've seen with the previous civil war, where they defended the country. But I think most Americans today, their mindsets and experience is different from the previous generation that went to civil war defending the country. But I still don't think they have much power to really choose and decide, because I mean, America at the moment, or the West, they control the global economy. And I feel like this question actually should go beyond FBAs. You know, so I get your target and your audience, but sometimes I feel like maybe you could be putting too much pressure on the FBAs. I would like to take it on to the black race as a whole, because currently with the Ukraine and Russia issue, we have seen African countries, I believe about 50 or 55% of them voted against Russia. For me, and you see, I was also depending on countries like Nigeria, because that's a big, powerful black nation as well. They voted against Russia, which I was disappointed by that. If I'm correct, they did vote against Russia. So you can see the domination of America in when we decide the battles, how it's gonna play in the near future. So this should go beyond FBAs, just the black race as a whole. Which side are we on? Who's our direct enemy now that is impacting us as black people? It's obviously the West. So when most African countries voted against Russia, and some were afraid to just say against Ukraine, they said neutral like South Africa. You could see how powerful America is, or the West as a whole. So if a war breaks now, people are going to vote based on their stomach. They're going to vote based on who could win and who's gonna, how can we eat in the coming near future, you know. So the FBA, they don't have political power in America, to be honest. They're gonna have to defend America, I'll assume, you know, and depending on which country America is fighting, you know, if America is targeting Africa, for example, which is a very weaker opponent, I don't see black Americans defending that. But how much choice do they have? What can they do? They cannot do anything about it. We have seen Barack Obama, who was probably a black man, but he's not FBA. But this is the same man who sent almost double the amount of military that Bush sent to Middle East. He in fact increased the military that side. He also killed Muammar Gaddafi. You know, it's clear to see which side most people are going to pick. People are going to vote based on their stomach. So yeah, this is very, very interesting for me. And back to South Africa, there was a time where, I think it was 2019, the issue of Palestine and Israel. It was clear in South Africa that majority of black South Africans were supporting Palestine, and I think even the few Indians we have here. But you could see that when it came to the white population that we have here, they don't compromise. And I think it's easy for them to choose which side, because their race is the dominating race currently in the world. So they control all the aspects of economies wherever they are, you know. So it's easy for them to decide because they are in control. So you could see online, you could see every white person was for Israel, and an average black South African was for Palestine. And currently now what I've seen, but for now, the war between Ukraine and Russia was very interesting, because most English whites in South Africa, they were against Russia. But when it came to Afrikaners, they were actually in favor of Russia. That was very interesting for me. Most of them that I spoke with them, even the ones that I work with, we did speak a lot about this. They were siding with Russia, which was very interesting. And when I asked them, most of them actually, they had like a German blood. Some of the Afrikaners that we have in South Africa, the Boers, they have German blood. So their history actually also traced back to world wars and all that. They still lean to the east. They were in favor of Russia. It was very interesting for me to hear that. But yeah, just had to say that.
From what I see, the way I look at it is that I think you said all the things that is possibly going to happen.
Hey, Tunaja, let's do this. Real Monger, if you want to respond back to Tunaja, since if you're back,
okay.
You're back on.
Yeah, does my mic sound clearer now?
You sound good. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, Tunaja, I was trying to well, the Lozy brother, he basically quantified everything in a very intelligent way, talking about basically that's an unrealistic question, but the point Dynast is trying to get to is basically, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It basically saying where do we feel aligned with, you know what I'm saying? What on what side of the aisle? Like, because basically both sides, both political parties are bullshit. So like, which political party represents our best interest, which is basically none. But I thought Nigel was trying to say, America will never give us control of like the nuclear power plants or something like that. That's what I was trying to say, understand. Was that what you was trying to say? Like, we shouldn't be invested in America because we couldn't have any military power or anything like that.
What I'm saying is that you should be invested in America to become self-determining. You can't be at the mercy of the pan-European groups, because you are African and you need to be pan-African. And that is the clear line that you have to realize. America right now is pan-European, and all the things African Americans have been fighting for all these years is for a pan-European project. When are you going to be for your own people's project? And this is why I think when that question arises, you have to remember that equation and say, you know what, if I'm to be for myself, then you need to give us this. We are your friends, isn't it? You want us to fight on behalf of you and die for you. Give us control of this, so that we know my brother is controlling this, my sister is controlling that one, and that way I can fight for you and die for you.
What African nation is fighting for like African hegemony? Like, what African nation can seriously? Hold on.
You just move the goalpost now.
No. I'm not here to disrespect. I'm not here to say nothing crazy. I'm actually looking for light at the edge of the tunnel. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you telling me there's an African nation that can seriously set up a nuclear anything without the permission of Europe, I would like to know which country that is. You know what I'm saying? Because I would like to know which African nation thinks that their entire scientific class in the nuclear fields won't disappear overnight if y'all try to do anything without Europe's permission. That's what I want to know.
Your way of looking at it is that we cannot, but I tell you that we can. You have to change your mindset from thinking from the point of view of fear. When the Chinese decided to acquire this technology, they were not thinking, oh, the Europeans are going to come in and take us out. No, you do it, and you do it big. You like in the case of this question, they are already in trouble. They are at war. What are they going to do else to you? You tell them, if you want me to join you, this is what's the price is going to be. And because you don't trade for trinkets. We have been trading for trinkets for centuries. It never got us anywhere. So you have to go for the strategic stuff.
So what you're saying is African nations can, if they just wanted to. What you're saying is African nations just haven't done it for some reason. But
I think this question is about the African this in American this in. If it comes to the African continent, it comes to that, let's say there was a war going on between China, America, I would say the same thing too. They should never take any side until these sides, the side that chooses to empower Africa, that's the side you take the side. And I've said it before, the Chinese, they will be stupid not to make an African state nuclear anytime soon. Because what the Americans and the West is doing is that they're trying to choke China off. And if China was clever, they would do the same thing they did with Pakistan. They will give one African country nuclear technology and ballistic missile technology. And if that happens, that's going to change the paradigm, even for you guys in America.
It'll still.
Wait,
You said,
1 second.
all right, go ahead,
You
mother.
see what you said there? That was the blunder of the Chinese foreign policy. And that's something that is different. So I think they are regretting it now that they
Why?
weren't able to do that. And I think if they had done that, like in all the four economic blocks, East, West, Central, and Southern, um, they wouldn't be in the situation they're in now. But they were also a growing economy. Don't forget that there was not a single Chinese brand on the global stage as at 2000. So it was from them exporting to the African continent knockoffs that they did their R&D, and now they were able to build their global brand. So there are two sides to the coin. One is it was a blunder of their foreign policy with the African continent, and instead of doing those, shark loans that they're famous for allegedly, and the second part was, they were also growing at the same time.
I think from their point of view, they are looking at it that they are trading with America. America was doing good business with them. They were making money and they were growing. So they didn't have any need to do anything strategic. But if you look at what is happening now, the West is trying to choke them off. Let me just make my point. The West is trying to choke them off and trying to choke Russia off. And India is just, India is playing the game that I said our people should be learning to play. India is just sitting there like, yeah, I can afford to choose sides. Pakistan wouldn't choose sides, and America went and got their prime minister removed from office because Pakistan is corrupt. Even if their nuclear power is corrupt, they went and removed their prime minister from office because he wouldn't take sides between Russia and the Ukraine war. So this is what African leaders are dealing with. I think Rosie said something about African leaders voting against Russia. They don't have a choice. If they don't, many of their countries will be destabilized. Look at what happened to Pakistani president. He came on the TV and said they even have evidence of it. That they didn't even hide it. Americans didn't even hide it. They said it in a minuted conversation. So these are the kind of things we are dealing with. And this is why I say the Chinese, they will be stupid not to figure out a way to arm in the African continent to change the paradigm. Because right now, the backup of the Western economy is the continent. And the continent is empowering even America to oppress African Americans even more.
Okay, to Niger, the strategic move of China coming direct into the African market. Already, China had foreseen that their competitors are going to be the EU and America. So that idea that they were comfortable with America and Europe, I think we can jettison that idea to a certain degree, because them coming directly, what they were like the manufacturers. So EU, America would come get resources from the continent and then send those resources to China to build the technology while owning those corporations practically and giving them contracts, right? So what China was doing was putting up their debts, their manufacturing debts, and saying, yeah, you can pay incrementally, and they kept defaulting, and that's how they got a lot of the U.S. Treasury bills and EU Treasury bills. And then after some point, they were like, you know what? Let's go directly to the source of this wealth, and so we can start trade. So obviously, they already knew they were cutting out the third party, and the third party was the USA and Europe. So so definitely China doesn't do any policy that's not 100 years down the line. So they definitely already knew. So it was a blunder of foreign policy. And we also need to put into consideration on the other side of the coin that they were growing, and they did not even have a global brand at the time. So they used the last 20 years on the African continent, or let's say 15 years on the African continent, to do their R&D. And now you can see they now have, Huawei and some OnePlus and some global brands. So it's interesting because everybody is fighting for their survival at this point. And I think the African continent will be able to profit a lot from acquiring all the technologies that it needs to be a sustainable continent getting into the 22nd century. With that, I yield the mic. Thank you.
For me, anyway, it's very simple calculus. whoever is going to change our strategic position that has remained the same basically for 500 years, that person, I think our people should partner with them for better or for worse. Whether they are on the right side of the equation or not, it doesn't matter because we are already on the wrong side anyway. So if it is China, if it is India, if it's the US, they decide that tomorrow they are going to repent and say, you know what, they are going to empower the continent and they're going to treat the continent as equals, so be it. Because I think we have been trading ourselves for cheap for too long. It's been going on too long. It's really shameful, really. When you look at the ledger, our people just keeps fighting for, let's just end slavery. Let's just end Jim Crow. Or the Africans were like, let's just get civilization, end colonization. But all this are superficial things. Really, the people you are earning it from, they still have control. It doesn't make any. It's like somebody saying they are holding up a bank, and you tell them, you know what, I need to get water. Yeah, they might say go and get water, but they still have control of the bank. That means that equation is what needs to change. And I think our people, anybody that listening to this, don't let anything else distract you. If you want your people to recover, should be your focus. It should be your focus 100% like a laser, because anything else is deception. It's not going to change the fate of your children, and it won't change your fate in this world. That is the only way to go.
Dynasty, I've got a question to ask you. What power do FBA actually have?
None. None.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this like this, right? America has got a population of 350 or 60 million. Black American are around 45 million or 48 currently. In terms of political power,
50 million, let's just say approximately 50 million Lozzie.
All right, good. So right now we're looking at, like, in terms of power, it could be political power or even in terms of military. How much influence could FBA have? Because I think this question is interesting, but it's also not well detailed. It's beyond that. We have got a population of FBA who I believe at heart will not actually stand with at the America of today in any war. But then we have got other FBA, which is a minority, but it's in power. Very small number of them are in political power, and some of them are even in military power. But these people are just there for a symbolic reason, So we this question is good, but it's obvious. FBA don't even have power to choose even if a war breaks in. It's a good question, but it needs to go deeper than this.
Everybody every community has proven to have power to choose.
Hold on, Nagas. Unmute yourself, Nagas. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. My concern is that we have a very opportune time to set a precedence in the global economy. They just found close to $1 trillion worth of minerals in Uganda. And we could discuss how Africans own their land and whatnot, but we don't have jurisdiction over the oil or the cobalt that's in the Congo. So I'm willing to come help and fight. I'm not trying to go live comfortably somewhere or go pledge colonialism in another continent. I would rather go sweat and bleed right next to the African to go and secure the lands of Congo and also secure the lands of Uganda. Because if we don't, then that'll be the next century, the next theater of war for the next decade with the amount of minerals that they found. And that came from a Chinese investment. So I'm here to see how can we establish or put in motion a supply chain. I'm not here for the emotion or the disregard if you're from the American continent or the African continent. Nobody here has a gun to our head that's hindering us from working together. So how can we work together to help secure the lands of the Congo and help bring peace to Central Africa, and also help influence the sustainability for what's about to happen in Uganda? It hasn't hit world news yet, but basically anybody can apply for for a license to be a minor right now. So we need to be having conversations about, hey, supply chains. Hey, what's your expertise? And then we have different departments. And for those people who are able to go, hey, we have a team that's over there majority of the time. Some people can travel here and there. Some people can't make it at all, no matter what part of the world they are. But they might be able to send resources and send revenue. And so, how can we set up a supply chain to help take back the lands of Africa? Because we could talk all day and go back and forth. The Africans don't own the land in Africa no more than the people here in America. So, how can we work together so we can present ourselves a better future? I'm willing to blood, sweat, and bleed with.
Exactly.
I think what you said is quite honorable to do, because I've said this before. What is the purpose? What is our purpose as men and on this in this world? You know, when 5-foot Asian men can do better at defending their people, you know, it calls into question what we are doing with our time and with our purpose in life. And right now, I've said it even to my Nigerian brothers. If our government decides that they want to recruit 1 million soldiers, I will join. I will join. Like with a heartbeat. I don't know why they will take me. Maybe I'm maybe too old, but I will join. And because that is the whole purpose of your existence, is to help keep your people safe. Yeah, you might be doing it other ways. But we have to do that, put our hand to the lever to actually do the hard work.
Right. So
Tunaja, can I ask you something? Tunaja, I have a question towards you. I mean, when Obama's cabinet was invading Libya, I think that time President of South Africa was Zuma, who was working close with Gaddafi. But when it came to that critical point, he voted with America to invade Libya. You know, politics. Right now, we've seen Nigeria voted against Russia. What was your thought on that? What did you think about that?
You know, in our culture, they said if fire can burn the tortoise with iron shell, what will happen to a hen with feathered gown? You see, I just mentioned that the US removed the Prime Minister of Pakistan from office because he wouldn't take sides. And his argument was that they allow India to take sides, but they wouldn't allow him to take sides because they saw he was weak. What would you think Nigeria is right now? Nigeria is in a strong position. They will take advantage of what they have. And Nigerians are not stupid. The Nigerian leaders are not stupid. They'll be like, you know what? I might as well just vote on this thing because I know I have a feathered gun on. I don't want to get burned by these people. You see what is going on? I'm not trying to defend weakness. Like I said, I'm trying to get out of it. But I can understand why they had to do what they did.
But you see, Niger, this just shows how.
Can I also give you another explanation?
Can I just quickly respond?
So yeah, you can respond to I and to Niger if that's okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. Brilliant. Before Russia got into Ukraine, about 150 Russian companies diversified their companies into Nigeria specifically. And, you know, there had been a back and forth. There is a long back and forth geopolitics in Nigeria with regards to Russia, what Russia is trying to do with Nigeria in terms of investment. The largest steel plant in Nigeria was built to 90% completion by Russia, a Russian company, and it's been moribund since then. The NMPC, with geopolitics, they just stopped the project, and it's at 90% completion. With the NNPC, refineries were built by Russians. These two key facilities and sectors, the steel and the refinery, would have made Nigeria such a stable country right now. But it was also, again, after they built the refineries, they handed the refineries down. What happened? Anytime there was maintenance on these refineries, they would actually be given to European countries, Australian countries, New Zealand, or European or American companies, right? And it's all the geopolitics when it comes to Nigeria, because Nigeria is different from, say, South Africa or Kenya or Ghana or Ethiopia. We're talking about
But
Nigeria.
but
Lonzi,
it's truly not though.
can
It
I finish?
it
Can I finish? Can I finish?
yes.
We're talking about the largest economy, and we're talking about the most populated Black nation in the world. There are far
Yes,
more
yes.
eyes looking at Nigeria than they are looking at South Africa, for instance, right? And than they are looking at Kenya or Ghana or Ethiopia. So now, with all those geopolitics happening, just before they got into Ukraine, I think it was 100 or 50, 150 or 50. I'm not sure of the number now, but I read it, and they actually had a press release with interviews, and they got into the country. What that says is Nigeria is a vital partner. However, they understood the geopolitics. So now, when you look at the situation with where Nigeria is today, with insurgency happening in Nigeria, there's certain equipment that we need from America, that we get from China, that we get from Russia. One of the issues with America was we paid for some fighter jets, actually very old fighter jets, to be honest, and they were blocked by the US Senate because of, oh, Nigeria has issues with human rights and stuff like that. However, that's a bargaining chip now, because, oh, if they want us to help you, okay, we should vote against it. Well, what are we getting in return? Can we get those fighter jets at least, so we can kill these terrorists on our land? Okay, that's fine. And so you can't look at geopolitics in simplistic terms about, oh, you know what, you should have voted against if you believe in liberation.
This is why I need to respond, because I wasn't looking at it like that. You look in Africa.
Right?
Look, let me respond. Let me respond. Nigeria is a very critical country in Africa, and that's why I'm picking on Nigeria, because that move actually was a trigger for me. Nigeria is powerful, especially on the region. So when a powerful nation, I understand what you said. But give me a chance to respond, because I listened to you, brother. Let me just respond. In that moment, it was a very deciding moment, and my point was this: it shows how far the continent still has to go if big countries on the continent cannot agree on. And when it comes to Black countries, most of the times I focus on South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya, which I think are very critical. I was supposed to also focus on DRC, but I think the situation of DRC, it's worse. It's not stable at all. It's one country we're supposed to also look up to, So my point is this: if the giants in Africa cannot stand on one ground, I mean, how do you explain South Africa being neutral, Nigeria voting against Russia in that critical moment? I don't know what Kenya voted for. I think they also voted probably against Russia. You see, this shows how far the continent still needs to go, because these are big players on the continent, and once they start to agree, the change is gonna come easy. But if these big boys cannot agree on the continent, then we are all in mess, and that's why I was asking to.
About that point of voting, I don't understand the point you're making, because if they vote or they vote either way, it makes no difference. What is that going to affect the world?
No. Those votes were not just votes. The world is watching, and the world is dividing now. I understand.
These are the kind of mediocre this thing that I don't want to talk about. That is not going to change anything. Whatever direction anybody voted, what difference does it make? Do you think anybody can stop Russia? Nobody can.
Tunaja, this is the same way we asking the question. You check the question now. How if the war breaks in America, what FBA can do? These are more or less the same questions. If you think this question I'm asking now is not important, then we might as well leave the FBA question as well, because I'm thinking.
Well, they are not asking us to join the war. That's the difference. If they said we should join the war, that's a different thing. I'm not being defensive. I'm correcting you. You are saying that the FBA, they're asking FBA what side to take in the war. Because they are part of an American civil war. If they talk about a war on the continent, that is the difference.
You're missing my point. What I'm saying is that it shows that the big countries on the continent are not even communicating that well. That's what I'm trying to say to everyone here. What I'm trying to say is that it shows the fact that Kenya and Nigeria and South Africa didn't take one side. It just shows how much we are not communicating. That's my point.
But that is not our war. They can afford that luxury. That's not our war.
True Niger, one second. Lozzie, let me actually use South Africa. Your president, Ramaphosa, categorically came out on media, right? To
Yes.
all of Africa and said Russia is a brother of ours. That helped in the struggle for the liberation of, South Africa from apartheid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Categorically, but Russia, but in the United Nations, South Africa voted against Russia. Why did that happen?
Yes.
Abstain.
Look,
Sorry, abstain.
you're not getting my point. You're right.
Lozzie, I haven't finished. Lozzie, I have not finished.
These technical things you are addressing, fine. But my point is that the continent is not speaking the same language. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can you wait to listen to my statement?
No, but you're addressing things that are useless. I'm not really interested in that. What I'm trying to say is that the continent.
Okay, I think Lucy, you're speaking out of turn now. We can't be interrupting each other.
Yes, and you're interrupting me. That's very rude, Lozzie, to start with. Stop it.
You have interrupted me anyway, but it's fine.
I did not interrupt you.
You have done that.
Tell you this, right? He categorically in front of the media, the global media, the African continent, but South Africa abstained from that vote, right? Now,
from what vote in you and for Russia?
Can we just? Yes. I need to hear what he is saying.
Yeah, but I need to hear him as well. That's why I'm asking him to repeat. I need to understand.
South Africa abstained for the vote condemning Russia in the United Nations after all that statement on public TV, global news networks, right?
When you Edward, on behalf of South Africa, let me just say this. I have to give it to South Africa. On this one, I have to give it to South Africa. South Africa tends to stand its ground, even from the time of Nelson Mandela. When it comes, let me finish my point. No, hold on, let me finish my point, because I think that what Nigeria does is not always a very good thing. It's not very edifying. Look at what South Africa does. It's something they don't care whether there are consequences. Maybe they have the luxury because they have white people in their country. I don't know. But what they tend to do is, like, when it comes to Pakistan, they take sides. When it comes to Russia, they take sides. And they made it clear that with that statement that Mandela made. He said, just because these people are your enemies doesn't mean they are our enemies. You see what I mean? And that's something that maybe other Africans need to learn from too. Because there's no arbiter of knowledge here. If South Africa has got some good ideas,
I need to be given a chance to make my point, because you guys are not getting me. You guys are responding, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. You are making this thing about country.
Basically, your point is that we are powerless. That's what your point is. We are powerless to decide.
Understand what I'm saying. You guys need to understand. No. Yeah, we heard you. Let me speak now, please. No. You are responding to something that you're responding to something that I don't care about.
Let's just let him talk, just to be fair.
What I'm saying is that this is not about South Africa versus Kenya or Nigeria. My point was that we're not agreeing on same terms on the continent, even the powerful countries on the continent. That was my point. I don't care about these things you're trying to say.
But we agreed on the vaccine. We did agree on the vaccine. When it came to the vaccine, South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana and Senegal pushed for it, and now Africans are able to get vaccines. When they released South Africa, Nigerians and South Africans, we all came together and we fought it, and immediately they overturned that ban. So we do speak with one voice sometimes. Go ahead.
Can I finish my statement? You see, Lottie, you just repeated what you had said, so then we wasted time on that. Now, let me make my statement clear to you. You abstained. Abstention was strategic. You could have, the South African government would have been behind the scenes pushing other African countries to not vote against Russia. But you abstained because why? The spotlight is on you. But already,
Yes,
Wait,
I don't
Lottie,
look. What my point is, this: when it comes to critical decisions, we are not agreeing on same principles at that moment. That's all.
Can I finish?
Yeah. I want you to finish. Go ahead and finish. Lowe's, I have to mute you. I just one mic. All right, go ahead.
God damn! Each time you're reacting without listening to what I have to say. Now the spotlight is on you. You can already, your government, your president, people in the government have made their statement public to the world. Oh, the vote comes on. Oh, we'll just abstain. But then we'll tell other countries, hey, you guys need to not vote against Russia. We need to balance it out. Because if you look at the actual African continent and the countries that voted, it was actually balanced in the sense that there was one country that voted in favor of the in the United Nations that voted in favor of Russia. That was Eritrea. There were countries that abstained. There were countries that voted for. And if you look at the balance sheet, it was like a balanced neutral. It was a balanced neutral response from the continent.
Can you highlight why Eritrea was the only country that was able to do that?
Naja, can you stop interrupting me? Let me land, because that is something down the line, right? Now, once you look at that, right, that was strategic already, in the sense that, oh, we are non-alignment and we'll continue showing we are non-alignment. Whether it's east or west, we are not interested. And that was another bold statement from the continent as a collective. So now it now comes to Nigeria. When you look at the Nigerian media, predominantly was, hey, Ukraine need to not make this escalate any further. They need to go for a deal, because this is actually an aggression against Russia. Then the government votes against the Russian invasion in Ukraine.
But yet, man, I need to.
Lottie, you're going to repeat yourself and repeat points, and we're
not. You are addressing things that you are addressing the obvious things that are not important to my question. I'm trying to say, but you speak. We've given you a chance to speak, brother. Let us speak. We listen to you.
Edward, you have said your piece now. You've said your piece. Let him respond.
I haven't finished.
Just give us space. Then you will continue after.
You need to pause. You need to pause. You need to just mute your mic at this point. Let me finish.
You need to.
Oh, but you can't be speaking the longest alone.
Rowdy, I'll leave this stage for you guys, though, because like
you can actually.
My most valuable thing is my time. So please, I'm not here to waste.
You can. You see, if you want to speak to people, you need to allow us to speak to. It's just
allow us to respond to you, brother. Allow us to respond. Just that's it.
I listen to your points, and I'm addressing your points right now.
You're not. That's why I want to respond to you. You are not really. You are not. You're not getting us, and you want to.
One mic. Lozy, in 20 seconds. What's your point? 20 seconds.
Okay. All right. My point is, do you guys understand the power if countries like Nigeria and Kenya and South Africa can just agree in most cases, if they communicate and agree? I don't care what they agree on. My point is if they can just vote in one side in most cases, that's going to send a strong message. That's what I'm trying to say. You are trying to compare which one makes good decisions. I'm not interested in that. My point is just, if powerful countries on the continent can agree, that can fix most of our problems, and it will send a strong message to the world. That's my point. These things you're explaining, they're useless to me at the moment. I'm just talking in terms of agreeing as a continent. These powerful countries, if they agree in most cases, they will be sending a very strong message out there. That's my point.
I think Nigeria, South Africa are one of the few countries that seem, if you look at the map of Africa, there are military bases dotted everywhere. And South Africa, Nigeria, as some of the few countries, Nigeria is almost like a mosquito all around Nigeria, surrounding Nigeria everywhere. And this is one of the things people don't understand, how Nigeria is being pestered. I think Edward made some point about this in Eritrea, that he didn't realize the significance that Eritrea is the only small, in short, the only African country that voted against. Let me finish my point. The Eritrea is the only country that you can describe in Africa that has a sizable military for their population. One Eritrean soldier has to defend about 25 citizens. Guess how much one Nigerian soldier has to defend? Over 2,000 citizens. Even American soldiers, the most powerful military in the world, has to defend about 160 citizens. That is the problem with African countries. They have never tried to reclaim control of their continent. They need to do that. This is why Eritrea had a free voice. South Africa,
But
the only reason why they are doing it
me.
is because South Africa is relatively Western to an extent. They have Western people there, so they have a bit of bravery when it comes to speaking independently.
But you understand what I'm saying too, Niger? Because my point is this: if these countries that are big in Africa that have got more influence even on their regions, if they can agree in most cases, that will solve almost half of our problems. You really understand my point? I'm saying these technical things that you guys are addressing, fine. But my point is this: if we can start to agree, that's all I'm saying. Just to agree.
I agree with you on that. And the truth is, there's a lot of agreement. There's a counterterrorism force that is being put together on the continent-wide, not regionally. Continent-wide, they are putting that together right now. And you may not realize it. Nigeria and South Africa and many African countries are working quite closely together more recently. They are signing deals all over the place. And you have to see the signs. That's why when you see how the continent responded with the COVID-19 stuff, and the way they responded with the red listing that the Europeans gave them, you can see that they speak with one voice. And they were not waiting for African Union. They just went straight in and started and traveling from one capital to another. When you see that movement, you see the power these leaders could have if they just chose to wield it. Because the moment they wielded it, they got everything they wanted. And that is the thing with our people. We just never wield our power. It's really weird. Anytime we ask for something, they give it to us because they don't want us to discover our true strengths.
But you see, too, Niger, my strategy is this, and I think you're getting my point now. What I'm saying is this: if the big boys on the continent can start to agree all the time, even the small countries won't have a choice but just to follow. You know, that's like an easy approach to approach a unified continent. It's gonna be it's not gonna be easy for small countries to always know the agenda if the big boys on the global scale don't always agree. And that's actually what I'm trying to address. What I'm trying to say is that all the big countries in Africa, they must always be on one side in most cases. That will send a very strong message even to our own other African states that are small. They will, I mean, most states in West Africa will follow Nigeria. In the south is South Africa. In the central it's supposed to be DRC, and in east it's supposed to be Kenya. It was supposed to be Ethiopia by looking at by numbers, but I think economically Kenya has got more influence. So we need to have that strategy where these big countries, they need to be on code. They need to be on one principle in most cases. Then it's gonna be easy to unify the entire continent in achieving the political agenda or geopolitical agenda. You know, that's all I'm saying.
I agree with you on that. When you observe the world right now, the most powerful country in the world today that can decide the fate of this world is India right now. If India decides they don't want to take side because they are just enjoying it right now, they are even promising them nuclear submarines, and everybody's giving India what Russia is giving them cheap oil, basically free oil and cheap fuel. Because if India decides to go with China and Russia, that's the end. Because that's the population, that's where most of the population of the world is, and they are armed to the teeth. That's the end of the West. They can do whatever they like there. And India is just sitting in the middle right now, enjoying it, taking their time. You want to give me nuclear submarine, the other guys are giving me fuel. You see, I really wish we were in that position because it's a very, very interesting state of affairs. And because of that, the West now is so desperate, they are going to African countries and putting pressure on them. I've had Nigerian leaders, some of them, I think prospective leaders, they were running for presidency. They were saying that they need to change the unaligned status of Africa. Can you imagine that? In other words, we switch sides. That would be a grave mistake for us to do at this stage. We don't have the muscle to start picking sides. And I just want to watch India decide what direction they will go. And I get a feeling that the West is going to do something silly to India that's going to force India in the other direction. Let's just watch the space.
Yeah, they tried. I mean, you are right about that too, Niger. The minister of India, they've been trying all by means to get him on side. I mean, even the recent gathering of G7, they called him as well. I mean, even the president of South Africa, And that was weird for me because we, on the other side, we are on BRICS on the table with Russia. But look, these are political moves where we are not inside, so we probably don't have all the information. But even the minister of India visited the Western countries about a month ago or 2 months. He did a visit to a couple of countries there. So I think they're trying to win his side because they can see what's coming. You know, I mean, geographically and also by numbers. India is big. I mean, India and China alone, I think their population it's probably half the world population.
They can really create their own economy, literally. And Russia comes with the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons in the world. China is the factory. They can create a new world if they wanted to. And I think this is what is really annoying the West right now, is making them irritated. And I don't think they should be, because the world is there now. It is what it is. Somebody used to give an example that it's like, okay, somebody used to give an example that it's like we are on a bath of petrol. One side has got a match and the other side has got 5 matches. Anybody that decides to drop it, we're all in trouble. So that's the world we are living in. I don't think the West should be taking it personal. And when we say the West, it's the Anglo-Saxon arm. It's not the entire West that is taking this too personal. If you look at this war, it's being driven by the Anglo-Saxon arm, which is America, Britain, and Australia. Those are the countries that are pushing this war. It's not the European countries. Left for Germany, they'll be fine. Left for France, they will make their peace. You see what I mean?
But they are dominating. So tonight, I hope you guys can understand my point, because I was literally saying a deciding point of Africa lies in the hands of these powerful countries. And we need to work hard as Africans to also make sure that DRC is stable. We need to start recognizing the critical countries that we need in the region for us to achieve our agenda. You know, it's very disappointing that we don't agree most of all the time in the global politics. I mean, I don't have a better way to say that, but I wish we can start to be in same terms. No matter what we're going through in our respective countries, I wish our leaders can start to compromise. You know, just say, you know what, we all agree together. No matter if they attack one of us, we come up with a solution that if you look at the let's say the economy of Nigeria, or the economy of South Africa, or Kenya, or DRC, you know, how if they attack them this way, we can back this country up this way, because we need each other in that sense. You know, that's what I think it can really be quick to fix the continent. We cannot go to each state. Most of these small countries are very puppets, like they puppet states. But if we can raise the big countries to stand, it's gonna be easy for small countries to follow behind. I mean, I could have mentioned
personally, if you think about it, we shouldn't worry too much whether it's a big nation or small nation, because if, let's say, Eritrea decides to reveal tomorrow that they've been working on the nuclear technology and they have missiles, believe you me, no African country will sit there and watch other countries come and invade it. I can tell you that now. The whole mindset will change. Everybody will like, no, you are not going to mess with Eritrea. That's it. It's our boy. We have to protect it. If anything, South Africa will be like, I need stop, please. Nigeria will be like, I need stop. So that's what needs to happen. And I feel like we have 50-something countries on the continent. Okay, I'm not even going to put the North Africans there, because these people were the ones killing Africans just yesterday, and the dead bodies all over the way, kicking them. And so I don't know about them. I'm talking about the sub-Saharan countries. If they decide that one of them just goes, and I really hope right now as we speak, a lot of people are doing the hard work that needs to be done. We already understand the technology. Nigeria had nuclear plants just up to 2018. They came and took it, the enriched nuclear uranium away. Ghana gave up the entire thing in 2017. So it's not like we don't have experts that understand the technology. They're already there. The question now is, who is doing any building? Is any of the 50-something countries actually developing this technology secretly? We don't know. And I really hope they are, because it would be the stupidest thing if they are not. This word where they use that weapons of mass destruction is a dirty word. They are making it a dirty word, so we don't go for it. That's what ensures their power.
Tonight, I know your stance, your views on military stand, and that's very critical. I mean, there's no other way to lift a continent without the military power. Today I spoke with Mike from Nigeria, your other brother from Nigeria. He mentioned a very good point about having a secret society. You see, with these other nations that are strong today, they have maintained the secret society for the past centuries. He said, Africa, small empires in Africa back in the days. I mean, empires that we had, I don't want to say small, but the expansion was not of the entire continent. Like Mali, for example, he mentioned that Mali operated with a secret society. As black nation today, as black race, we don't have a secret society where our secret society, for example, with our brothers in America, in the Caribbean, Brazil, and on the continent as well, or any other black nation, Haiti, around the world, we don't have secret agents that can carry the agenda underground to enforce
I think that the whole point of it is it not the idea that if it is truly secret, we are not going to know, so we may not know. However, I get your point. It would be nice to say, okay, there's an organization like I think there is one that used to operate for the Zionist organization. They have this organization that work for them. I've forgotten the name they call it. So it would be nice to hear that we have something like that, but we don't know that. And if we don't have it, maybe we should be working on it, because these are the things that ensure our survival. Because this is not a free meal world. I don't understand how that doesn't come naturally to us. This world, nobody gives you anything for free.
Yeah, to Niger, in a sense of today's black race, the modern black race that we see today, our secret society.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Hey, let's do this. Let's go ahead and close out. Hey, I appreciate everybody for joining. Thank you so much. We'll be back on tomorrow. But the next time, family, like, share, subscribe. Danny Samir, search for Huru. Peace.
Best closer. Thanks.